Video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on the all-new, all-redesigned, all-free, all-customizable, so you can put Wilde and Tausch in that first little spot. ESPN Wisconsin app, which you can find both in the Apple and Android app stores. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. In the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios is our cousin sub of the day for Jesse. Cousin subs, we believe in better. Had that for lunch over the weekend. It is Hunter Vaughn. Hunter, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing great. Had a great 4th of July weekend. Super excited to be here with you guys for the next 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
Wait, 3 days? What?
Yeah, Jesse didn't tell you guys? I'm pretty sure he's off the next 3 days.
Week?
No,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I was pretty sure he's hosting tomorrow, so we better fact check that.
Oh, I don't know. Jesse
be that
doesn't.
as
I
it
just
may,
know I'm producing the next 3 days.
From his
Hey,
undisclosed.
Hunter, you know what? You did a great job last week. I'm listening to your Sports Center, and you're obviously a big Chestnut fan, or you don't put that in your Sports Center.
I just thought it was a fun thing to put in there.
Well, it's all right to be a Chestnut fan. The dude, he reeks of excellence and hot dog water. But he's you can say what you want.
God, that was a good
The
one.
dude's excellent at what he does. There's something to be said. And I know, well, is it a sport? Is it not? Oh, there's all of those things. And you can have that argument. What you cannot argue is he, in his chosen field, is the best of the best of the best. And there's something admirable about that. Whether or not you agree, and I know Peter King got up on his little soapbox, oh, it's disgusting, oh, but people like it. It doesn't hurt anybody other than whatever you make hot dogs out of. So, but what I didn't understand is a hot dog a glitzy? Is that what you said, a glizzy?
A glizzy. You've never heard of a hot
I've
dog?
never heard that.
Oh, yeah,
No.
that's how the kids... That's what the kids call hot dogs these days, glizzies.
They call them glizzies.
Yeah, Joey Chestnut eating 70 and a half glizzies.
Jason, have you ever heard of a hot dog being called a glizzy?
No, I thought that was what they called glazers from Quick Trip.
No, those are glazers. The glizzy's the hot dog, which you can also get at Quick Trip.
Why do we call them glizzies since you're so young and cool?
I don't know. That's just what the kids say. So,
Glizzy.
Question, how do you know what the kids say, Hunter? You feel like an old soul.
I spend a little bit too much time on the TikTok and social media. So,
Okay.
you know.
Well, here you go.
Yeah,
Glizzy
all right.
is slang that can refer to, either a hot dog or in some contexts, a weapon. The term glizzy for a hot dog gained popularity around 2020, potentially originating in the Washington, D.C. area. So there you go. I'm going to stick
What do you
with
mean a
hot dog,
weapon?
though.
Like, what do you mean weapon? You talking about a gun?
So
What are you
so
talking
when I
Well, no, because I want to know. I don't want to
use.
use this.
When I
Well, I don't wanna use it
sidestep
in the wrong way.
manner, do you think that I want you to ask a follow-up question there?
I want to be
You
educated.
could sense the hesitation in my voice.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did.
All right. Well, since you asked,
Yes.
or in some contexts, a gun, specifically
Okay,
a
that's
Glock.
what I thought.
The hot dog meaning is a more recent slang term, while the gun meaning is older, stemming from
I'm
hip-hop
not going to
culture.
lie to you. I don't think. Like,
I don't think we should call them
you know,
glizzies. That's just my opinion.
No, there's sometimes things can have a couple of different meanings. There. I don't understand how you can go from meaning a hot dog to a Glock. Like, I have a hard time comprehending how. And again, I'm getting old. I get it. So I don't understand that part of it, but I'm not sure how we get there.
So what about a hot dog and a wiener being used in two different contexts? That one makes more sense?
It makes a lot more sense. Yes.
Okay,
a lot
moving-
more sense.
Whoa,
Nelly!
Well, maybe I won't be producing the next 3 days.
I just would say change the 10 o'clock Sports Center. You'll be fine. All right, so Did you watch any of Joey Chestnut? Because I missed it, and I do enjoy watching it. I like watching the other competitors who I feel like when Chestnut is there, they're kind of just there for the free hot dogs. So they kind of pace themselves knowing they're not going to win.
You don't go to a hot dog eating contest you don't shove 35. If you're going to get free hot dogs, you go to a baseball game late and they're like firing the leftover hot dogs. You're not going to stuff 35 hot dogs down your gullet. But I almost think, you know how in Connecticut the women's team was so good that everybody thought college basketball should maybe just shut it down for a little bit because it's not – we're at that point. Chestnut didn't go last year and nobody cared. Some dude won it with like 40-some-odd dogs or glizzies, if you will. And now this year, he routs everybody, and it's a coronation again. But can you coronate another coronation? Like, how many coronations is it before you're out coronated?
It's like hot dogs on top of hot dogs.
It doesn't make a ton of sense. So unless somebody is up for the challenge, a la South Carolina or Notre Dame, I don't think this hot dog eating contest can continue with Chestnut just doing what he did to these guys last week. I don't think that's sustainable.
So because you are, at your core, a problem solver.
Yeah, you're not going to like
You've never met a problem
answer.
You could not fix,
and you've never
I have
a solution for
something
it.
that was working fine that you didn't feel like you needed to fix anyway.
I do have the solution for it, and I don't think anybody's going to love this, but
oh boy.
I believe the hot dog eating contest is going to need to go to a golf format, and I think it's going to need to be handicapped. That's what I think needs to happen.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, if Joey Chestnut can eat 72 dogs and the next best contender can eat 48, we're going to have to bridge that gap. And you're going to have to give, like in golf, you give 6 strokes an 18, the top 6 hardest holes, I get a stroke on you. I think in the hot dog eating contest, we're going to have to start handicapping this. If you're going to continue to put this as a marquee event on the 4th of July, there's nobody within 10 to 15 dogs at Chestnut. I don't think there's any up-and-comers that are taking him on. So you're going to have to handicap it. That's what I think we need to do.
So are there other Hunter, you seem to be the expert on the panel on this. Are there other hot dog eating contests that are staged throughout the calendar year? I mean, this is the Super Bowl, but do they have like the NFC wild card round or the play-in tournament in the NBA for competitive eating, or do I not know?
I know they have regional ones. Like one of the competitors in his intro, he was the winner of the Kansas City regional one. So
it was a tough regional. He was probably playing at home like the Badgers should have been.
Yeah, and it's like you've got that. I believe he was also from like St. Louis, so just across the state for him. So I know they do that, and then like there were other guys who I can't remember some of the other like eating contests there were. Like there was one like a shrimp eating contest and different things like that.
Shrimp.
One of the warm-up acts was a lemonade chugging contest. One of the guys did not hold down the lemonade. It was amazing. Like you just. When it comes to the eating contests, I think people need to just embrace the gross and just be like, you know what? I'm going to see something incredibly disgusting today, but it's the most disgusting thing I will ever see, and just embrace it and have fun with it.
Have you ever considered entering one?
I did a pie eating contest once.
Blueberry?
Did not do well. It was blueberry. Didn't do well. With some friends, did a like Swiss cake roll eating contest, and that was about 15 years ago, and I have yet to eat another one. I made it halfway through the package, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
Like Krispy Kreme donuts for some of us on the panel. Wait a minute. So what do you mean you didn't do well in the blueberry pie eating contest? What does not doing well look like?
Were they small pies, or was it a big?
Yeah.
No, it was a full pie.
Without your hands? Or
no
where you got to
hands.
put your face in it?
Yep. I maybe made it about halfway through, and the two guys next to me were just already done. And I was like, this is absurd. Like, I felt sick after, and these guys just housed these pies.
So you didn't refund the pies.
No.
So that would be worse. You just got your butt kicked.
Yep.
Okay. Well,
First off, they shouldn't do full pies. Like, it should be small pies. If you're gonna do a pie eating contest, it's got to be small pies.
They do full
Nobody wants to
glizzies with
see.
Nathan's.
all right, stop with the glizzies.
No, I understand. It's I understand that it's full glizzies, but pies, it needs to be smaller pies.
So you're thinking like a small, still a circular pie, not like those
Yes,
ones
a
that
small
are
circular
pre-wrapped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so Tausch, if you didn't watch the hot dog eating contest and you didn't participate in one, like
Just admire greatness. I admire greatness, and I think Chestnut is great at what he does. And anytime you can be that much better in a field this isn't like it's just getting started. This is a mature competition now, and this is the Super Bowl of those competitions. And for someone to consistently – I am now putting Chestnut in the same vernacular as Rafa Nadal on clay at Roland Garros. He dominates a certain venue like nobody else does. It's just the reality of where we're at. Now, is it the same amount of appreciation? No. But is it in the same vernacular? Yes, it is. You go to Nathan's, you go up to the Jersey Shore, and you're thinking hot dog eating, Chestnut is the Rafa of that. And Rafa has been, there's nobody, like Jack Nicklaus won a bunch of Masters, but there are a bunch he didn't win. Rafa went, I want to say 13 out of 14 years winning it, and nobody, even one of the greats of all time, couldn't compete with him at his peak. That's what Chestnut has done at the Jersey Shore. Which sounds absurd, but it's the reality.
Rafael Nadal at Roland Garros in his career, 112 wins, 4 losses.
2 to Joker.
14-0 in finals.
Robin Soderling. Nobody will know that, but
Except
Robin
you.
Soderling, because that gave Federer his only French Open, which I appreciate because I wanted Fed to get the Grand Slam. That would have been a big miss for him. And I don't know who the fourth person was to beat him at the French.
So, first of all, you should take some sort of a victory lap because I don't know how you had that Robin Soderling reference.
Dude, he's
on
the
tip of your
only
tongue.
– because, Jason, he's the only guy that beat him in like 18 years. And I think he lost all of his other ones at the end of his career.
Yeah, so he withdrew from the 2023 French Open. He also withdrew from the 2016 French Open. He was playing Marcel Grandoliers. I'm not familiar with his game. But he obviously, then he lost his final appearance. What's his correct name?
I don't know.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm not the only one. He lost to Alexander Zverev at
now
the
number 3 player in
French
the world.
last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there you go. That's your answer.
There you go.
So what did you do? Did you watch Wimbledon? Did you go to fireworks? Did you see a drone show? What did you do for your 4th of July?
We did. It didn't really go per se. There's a parade. There was cookouts. There was pool parties. There was golf. And then there was some baseball. So that was kind of the gist of our weekend. It wasn't. And there was. Eleanor made a fantastic to take over to a cookout to a fantastic blueberry pie. Not main quality, but she put stars. She cut these little cutout stars to festivitize it, and 4th of July pies it. And I thought that added, instead of latticing it, she put the stars on top of the blueberries.
Love it.
And it was nice and warm. It was a beautiful pie. And we grabbed some vanilla ice cream from Quick Trip and the bells of the ball when we got there.
Well, isn't it great to have kids that know how to do that sort of stuff? We had these little fruit pizzas that Maddie made, and she used blueberries for the field where the stars would be, and then strawberries sliced for the stripes. They were unbelievably good. We didn't take those anywhere. We kept those for ourselves. And we went to Summerfest and did the State of the Packers show. Got to see our friend David Gruber, who stopped by. We had a bunch of fans stop by. And we had Superman, or someone who fancies himself as Superman, come visit us as well. We'll talk a little bit about that a little bit later. We need to get ready for Jeff Passan to join us to talk baseball. It's always
woo. Big Woo with a big day yesterday. Couldn't be happier for Big Woo.
And while this Superman imposter I found a little obnoxious, when it comes to windows, the Superwoman, who is authentic as all get out, is Gina Della and Pella
sleek.
Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
And very sleek and resilient. Gina's very resilient. And for windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella Experience. The Pella Experience Center lets you see and feel and open and close and compare dozens of windows and door options from 7 different Pella lines side by side. Stop by soon, because if you order by July 31st, you can get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Certain restrictions do apply. Visit the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield or schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Can we tell people what we got going on with Pella later in the week, or is that still a secret?
What do we got going on?
I guess I'll tell you about it during the break.
Oh, we're going down there this week. Yeah, well,
Okay.
I figure I'm not going to tell you 4 days in advance. We'll give you plenty of notice, but we are going down to the Brookfield Pella Experience Center. What is that, Thursday this week that we're going?
I thought you weren't going to tell us in advance.
I wasn't going to, but it would be super awkward if I didn't now after you broached the subject.
Well,
is it Thursday? Is that when we're going?
I believe so, yes. So,
all right.
We got
I don't
that
think
to look
any of
forward
us
to.
know this show's schedule this week.
Good deal.
I think I might. More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Toscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy tickets to a big game, spending more on family trips during the summer, or gearing up for a big purchase, we're all trying to save money, right? Well, making the switch to solar is a great way to not only save money, but also help save the planet. Our family recently made the switch to solar, and we love it. At first, we weren't just quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
The Milwaukee Brewers, the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Freelick launches to right. It's back, and it is gone.
Tonight on 100.5 ESPN.
Associated Bank knows your small business isn't just a venture. It's your dream and a vital part of the community. And we're not just a bank. We're your neighbors. We're looking out for you. That's why Associated Bank offers quick online applications and approvals with funding in as fast as 1 business day, checking with no minimum balances or maintenance fees, and prompt customer service. Explore our products at associatedbank.com/business or visit a branch for more details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. American Family Insurance can help protect your dream home for whatever comes next. You can live in your own oasis or your own clubhouse. Whatever you choose, get the right coverage. Save up to 23% by bundling home and auto. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to vintagebrewingcompany.com to make a reservation today. That's vintagebrewingcompany.com.
Mark Tausch here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Switch on the sky and the stars glow for you. Go see the world cause it's all so brand new. Don't close your eyes cause your future's ready to shine. It's just a matter of time.
We got to get ready for Jeff Passan, so we'll get to the State of the Packers show from Summerfest that we did on Saturday, a little bit later in the program. If you listened last week leading into the 4th of July, I took a couple of days off, and while I was away, the hosts and Hunter decided to play What Item from Facebook Marketplace Might You Be Interested In? And so I do think that there's an opportunity there. I wish I would have had the opportunity to come on and discuss some of the fine items that are available.
Oh, we've been mandated by your wife to not do that, so we just want to make sure we're being respectful.
I do have those 100 wiffle golf balls, if you're interested, priced at $10.
I don't know why anyone would want 100 wiffle ball golf balls.
Yeah, maybe there's been some interest. Not from you though.
I just think I think it's crazy that you have that many wiffle golf balls for somebody that doesn't even golf.
Yeah, well, we've got our little driving range in the backyard, and we've upgraded now, so we don't need them anymore. Yeah. So yeah, okay. And the girls are cooking, but they don't need the wiffle balls anymore. Okay. I don't have any extra pickleball balls because I was tuned in for that discussion, and maybe I needed to put like a ruler or something next to the balls so you could see that they were golf ball sized as opposed to pickleball size. How many pickleballs do you need when you're a good pickleball player like yourself? How many do you need on hand?
3. You want to have 3 in your bag probably because they crack. They do crack.
And do you serve them like you did when you were a tennis player, where you had both? I assume, I don't know. I didn't get to watch you play tennis. I never had the pleasure. But did you have both balls for the 2 serves? One in your pocket, and then if your first serve was in, you didn't play it, and if you went to your second serve, you had it.
The boys over at the Pickler have been saying, get up, bring your family over there. If you think that you need a pickleball, it's not tennis, bro. You don't serve 2, but you get 1.
I've only played 3 points, so I don't know.
There you go. So, get over there and get yourself right, because it's not. You don't have a pick. It's not like you go for a big first serve. And
first service.
It's 1 serve.
Okay,
That's
let's.
It's not Wimbledon.
It is not. It's the Pickler, located on Holmgren Way. I mean, technically, I'm not sure which street it's on. But
Yeah, we got a couple big announcements coming up down in the Milwaukee areas, too.
What?
Yeah, we'll be at the ESPN Milwaukee Open, I just found out. So, yeah, there's all kinds of fun stuff.
What?
Yeah.
Is it a bigger announcement than the fact that we're going to be at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's showroom on Thursday?
All of our partners are important to us. I didn't ask you which is your favorite kid, did I?
I think you actually have at different times during the show.
But not. It's been a while.
I'll tell you my favorite bank. It's Associated Bank. When I make all those big money sales on Facebook Marketplace, I put that money in the girls' college funds, and those funds go into Associated Bank because I trust them with my money, and you should too. And if you haven't made the switch, what are you waiting for? You get the best customer service in the industry. It includes early pay, so you get access to your direct deposit up to 2 days early. It includes credit monitoring. Found out my credit score. It looks really good. I'm happy with it right now. And, of course, fraud protection, which I experienced firsthand. They made sure they had my back at Associated Bank. So go to AssociatedBank.com to find out more. Jeff Passan of ESPN scheduled to appear next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN.
Mark Tausch here for Pizza Hut. You know I've loved Pizza Hut since the days back when I was in school participating in the legendary Book It program. The summer was always a great time to get in some extra time reading to earn some great Pizza Hut pizza. And now my summer survival kit in Madison is a little different. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut for just $12.99. Choose from 4 loaded legends: meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the new spicy Hawaiian. It's your summer go-to. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. Order before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. Limited time only. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese. A large Hut Lovers pizza for just $12.99 for a limited time at Pizza Hut. Nobody out-pizzas the Hut.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's. Jim Rutledge here. It's officially camping season, which means I will be using my big blue truck from Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. What does that mean? It means it's a customized buying experience. If you're an expert and you know what you want, they're happy to let you take the lead. And if you have a ton of questions, Aaron, Tyler, and the whole team at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb will make sure they can answer them all. You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Summer is here, and there's no better way to celebrate than with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. I've been telling you for years how great Door County Distillery is. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. The sun is shining, and so can the Rock Island Rum from Door County Distillery in your summertime cocktail. Otherwise, vodkas, gins, whiskeys, brandies, and more, it's all available from the award-winning Door County Distillery. Find a huge list of unique cocktail recipes and the retailer nearest you, DoorCountyDistillery.com. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com.
The team you'll always remember.
There will be no undefeated champion on Wisconsin.
With a reunion you'll never forget.
And I went to shake hands, and they just dabbed me, hit me. And I remember we turned around, and I looked one time, I said, game over.
Relive Made and Believe starting July 8th on ESPN Madison on YouTube and the ESPN Wisconsin app. Brought to you by M3 Insurance Company, Potosi Varsity Ale, and Potosi Hard Seltzers. Made and Believe. Available starting July 8th.
This fall, there's only one place to be, Camp Randall Stadium. Wisconsin football returns with can't-miss matchups, including Maryland, Iowa, Washington, and more. From the first touchdown to jump around and the celebration of the fifth quarter. Experience the traditions and unforgettable memories that make Wisconsin football so special. Single game tickets are now on sale. Lock in your spot today by visiting uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. Wisconsin football game day starts here. We'll see you at Camp Randall.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
We're on the Brewers.
Jacob Mizorowski gives shades of Randy Johnson. He has the stuff to challenge Pirates phenom Paul Skeens as the most dominant pitcher in the National League.
Nobody covers the crew like 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers.
Joining us now, and I have mixed feelings about this, Tausch, because I love Jeff Passan. I've read him dating back to his days at Yahoo Sports with Uncle Charles Robinson, Sydney's godfather. Love his work. We're always smarter when he joins us. We're always lucky to get him because, as we have learned from previous calls, he has some phone numbers that he has put into his phone as do not answer. And we're not them yet. But Jesse's not here for it, and I'm surprised that Jesse would be so selfless as to book him on a day that he's not here. Joining us now, everything you need to know about baseball comes from this guy on ESPN. It is Jeff Passan on Wilde and Tausch. Jeff, good morning. Are you missing Jesse already?
Hey, do you really think it's selflessness, or do you think he knows what's coming and wants to avoid it?
Tomato, sure.
All right, fair enough. I don't look at this as some sort of benevolent act by him. I think he just is a little bit scarred that every time I come on, I manage to find something to make fun of him for. Oh. And I don't blame him. Like getting is no fun. And, and apparently I've turned into that.
Well, here's the thing, and Tausch can probably better explain it because I still can't believe it happened. But the Brewers were scuffling not that long ago, and Jesse pulled I'm not saying, I'm just saying we should be having a conversation about the job security of the reigning NL Manager of the Year, Pat Murphy. When it comes to stupid things that have been said, that one's got to rank right up there. Have you heard dumber things than that in recent memory, Jeff?
Sure, but I live with two teenage boys. So, like dumb rhetoric is kind of like part of my life these days. In terms of bad baseball takes, yeah, it's up there. I think it's funny to me how like diehard baseball fans still can't help themselves. Like it's a 162 game season. You could have a bad month, like a really bad month, and still be a postseason team. But in the midst of that bad month, and we're seeing it with the Yankees now, we're seeing it with the Mets, we've seen it with other organizations. In the middle of that bad month, you can't remind yourself. Logic just doesn't take over anymore. And you drive yourself crazy with these short-term thoughts. And I think firing Pat Murphy probably falls into that category.
What do you see from this team right now? We'll get into the Miz and Brandon Woodruff's return. What have you seen from this team, and what do you make of it now on July 7th that maybe people were not seeing when Jesse was calling for Pat Murphy's job?
It's such an interesting team, isn't it? Because when you watch them, they play good baseball. Like the pitching that they've gotten all year long outside of that first weekend of the season against the Yankees, whether it's Freddy Peralta or Chad Patrick or Quinn Priester or Logan Henderson or Jacob Mizorowski or Jose Quintana. I mean, we can go on and on about the starting pitching they've gotten. It's been phenomenal, like top to bottom, and it's carried them to this point. What do I see otherwise? I think the Brewers are one big bat away from being a legitimate World Series contender. Like, I think that's what the ceiling of this team is. And I think they could probably use another relief arm, though, honestly, the way that McGill and Mears and Uribe have pitched this year, the way that Ashby has looked lately in particular, it's like, man, they keep adding and they keep getting better. And I'm really looking forward to seeing how this team plays in the second half of the season, because it's been alluring lately to see what the Brewers not just are right now, but what they have going forward, because going forward it looks really good too.
Jeff, what is that's a fascinating comment, one big bet. What are the opportunities, and do you think Milwaukee can acquire somebody that is that big bat that would actually fit within the budget of what the Brewers can afford?
Well, let's talk about that right there. I'm tired of the Brewers being constrained by what they can or cannot afford. This is an organization that, starting with David Stearns and now with Matt Arnold, has been among the most consistent in all of baseball. They win, and they win, and they win. And it's like almost 10 years now consecutive of either first place or second place in the National League Central. And I get it. The playoffs have not treated them particularly well. They haven't been past the division series since 2018. Like, there have been some failures there, but that they've done this on the kind of budget that they have and have been able to continue winning, it says to me, like, at some point, Mark Atanasio needs to step forward and give a little bit more in terms of resources. And I don't know if that's at this deadline, because honestly, guys, there just aren't a lot of big bats that are likely to be available. Like, that's the problem. I'm suggesting a solution that might not exist. As soon as I say Eugenio Suarez, who's been awesome for the Diamondbacks this year, you come back at me and say, well, Caleb Durbin's been arguably the Brewers' best hitter for the last 2 weeks. So why are we going out and replacing him? And if you look at other positions, like, you're not replacing William Contreras, you're not going to really find that big of an upgrade over Rhys Hoskins, or a big enough upgrade to warrant the deal. You're not doing anything with Bryce Terang. Isaac Collins has been shockingly good in left field. Jackson Churio, I wish he would walk. I wish he could get on base more, but he's still your guy in center. And Sal Frelick has been really good. So, and Christian Yelich DH. I mean, I went through the whole lineup there, guys, and the only person I didn't mention is Joey Ortiz, and there are no shortstops available at the deadline. So I'm not sure what the Brewers are going to do at this point. It feels like it's going to need to be creative, whatever it is.
Jeff, what has been the secret sauce? Because you did mention, it's been 10 years, and I know there's, a lot of Brewer fans are frustrated that they haven't went and made the big splash a la CC Sabathia back in 08. We haven't seen that. It's been just development and bringing guys in. Is this just the organization and how they're set up that has allowed them to be this successful? Is it Matt Arnold and David Stearns are just smarter than everybody else?
I don't think they're smarter than David Stearns. Might be smarter than everyone else. He's really smart. And Matt Arnold, you know what? If I were smart, I would not be sitting next to my dogs right now. Like, what am I doing?
That sounds pretty smart to me.
Not really, because there's a 7-month-old puppy right here, and she keeps trying to steal this yak chew from her older sister who doesn't like her very much. And now she's chewing on her tail. This is going to end great, let me tell you. I think what the Brewers have done, and both Stearns and Arnold are owed a lot of credit for this, because Matt Arnold was around when David Stearns was putting this into place. The Brewers have really good processes. And I don't, you hear something like processes, and you're like, okay, that's nerdy. How can that actually have a tangible effect on this team being effective at winning ball games? But I want to use the Brewers International unit, for example. The Milwaukee Brewers were nothing in Latin America until a decade ago. They had no presence. They had, it was, it was just if they got a prospect out of the Dominican Republic or Venezuela, it wasn't by accident, but it wasn't a very commonplace thing. Now, with Jesus Mate and with Luis Pena and with a number of other guys that we can point to, they have become real players down there. And it's because they understand that they need to be strong in areas where they can cost effectively get players. That's the draft, and that's Latin America. And they have devoted resources and energy and hired really intelligent people to figure out how to do that. And that bears fruit, guys. They've taken risks. Like Jacob Misiorowski, I understand we look at him now and it's like, well, okay, yeah, of course he's good. He's 6'7" and throws 102. Who else was going to miss that? Every team passed up on him. Literally every team passed up on him. Could have had him in the first round, but I think the Brewers saw the potential to develop him. And those systems being in place, the talent identification and the development system that the Brewers have is just really, really good. And they've taken advantage of that, and that's what you have to do when you don't have an owner who's going to go out there and spend much.
Jeff, just nationally, I know locally, Miz, you're getting sellouts when he's pitching on a Wednesday. The excitement level here is super high. Is he viewed as, we heard the promo coming in, Randy Johnson? How is he looked at nationally as we sit here right now?
Yeah, he's not looked at as Randy Johnson. We're 4 starts in. Okay. Pump the brakes a little bit.
All right, a little bit. You can be excited, though.
Yeah, you can be excited.
Hey, it was your promo, Jeff, not mine. I don't know who put that up, but I got you.
I'll say this. He's got potential to be a frontline starter, like a legitimate number one. And when you look around the sport, guys, how many actual number ones are there? How many guys would you point at and say, not he's the opening day starter, not he's the top of the rotation, that guy is a one? There are like a half dozen of them, maybe. Misiorowski can be a one. His command is much better than I thought it was going to be. And I'll be honest, I was like, when you have a band that you know before everyone else and you feel kind of good about that, like, hey, I knew those guys before they were popular. Jacob Misiorowski trained at the same pitching facility that my son threw at and has the same coach here in Kansas City. So I was getting video on Misiorowski and TrackMan profiles years ago and looked at it and I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? And back then he just couldn't throw enough strikes, but the Brewers have done a great job of figuring out how to get the best out of him. And, over the course of his first 4 starts, he has shown why they've been so high on him.
Jeff, Freddy Peralta has been the workhorse for this team for a long time. His contract runs through, I believe, next season. And I know the small market part of this is a conversation that we could have for another day, but how would you advise, or what do you think Milwaukee ends up doing here? Do you think they find a way to keep him, or is this one of those deals you have to figure out when and how you trade him? What are you hearing, or what do you think happens with Peralta?
I think until this recent run, Peralta was regarded as somebody who might be traded. The Josh Hader deal a few years ago, I think, really changed the expectation for the Brewers. Up until that point, they had never sent out a guy in the middle of a season where they were winning who was integral to that winning. And yet, out of it, they got William Contreras. And so, while at the time, fans, I think, were rightly and understandably aggrieved by it. Guess what? Brewers front office did it again. And so I think that bought them some capital, but let's pretend that Milwaukee Brewers fans are like Tampa Bay Rays fans. Like, it's a whole different thing in Milwaukee. You have much more history. You have much more passion. You have just a much more loyal and devoted group. And whereas with the Rays, I think their fans understand, like, you cycle guys in and out. That's the way we win in a small market. I don't know that Brewers fans would be feeling very good about a Freddy Peralta trade at this point. So I think this is the sort of thing that we could likely see in the offseason because what the Brewers have done with their rotation this year illustrates that they have enough starting pitching to get along just fine without Freddy Peralta. You don't want to do it in a year where you have a chance to potentially win a championship, but if you can keep building, keep adding, and turn it into something that helps the 2026 team and beyond, it has to be something that you consider this winter.
Talking with ESPN's Jeff Passan on Wilde and Tausch with his dogs nearby, and as someone who has his dogs bark during the radio show on a regular basis, yours are far more well-behaved, and this is a safe space if they do act up. Jeff, you mentioned the Hader trade. It wasn't just fans, though, right? I mean, that clubhouse was pissed when they made that trade.
Sure.
And obviously he's been great this year. I think he's 25 out of 25 on his save. Like, there's that danger too, right? Of a trade that it doesn't just tick off the fan base, but you lose your clubhouse, and that is not a good scene.
No, it's not, and I think that is a very fair point. But I will say this with regards to Hader now, the Brewers were never re-signing Hader.
Right.
Like, that was not happening. They're not going to spend $95 million on a closer. It's not the way that they operate, man. So he was bound to be moved. And Freddy Peralta, I mean, Freddy Peralta signed a pretty team-friendly deal. So you know that when he's 30 years old and hitting free agency, this is going to be his chance to cash in. And so he's not going to friendly deal at this point. That's not in the cards for him. He wants to get paid. And, I mean, aside from Christian Yelich, like, when was the last time that you said Milwaukee Brewers and got paid in the same sentence? Like, they don't do that. That's not part of the operation. So I don't foresee Freddy Peralta, unless he really, really wants to stay in Milwaukee, being a Brewer long term, and that's frustrating, and I understand any disappointment or disillusionment from fans that come from that, but it's just kind of the reality of it. And I try in this job to acknowledge that there is some accountability that owners have to their fan base, and that fans and their complaints, they are often rational. Like, they make sense. And with the Brewers, they've been so close, it's like, can't we do something just to push them over the hump here? Can't there be just a little more? And that with everything that the Brewers have been through over the past decade, is a perfectly fair and reasonable request by fans and even by players in the clubhouse.
All right, two more things, Jeff, and then we'll let you go. One, you mentioned starting pitching. Brandon Woodruff returns and is victorious in his return. I saw Robert Gasser is starting to face hitters, at least, as he's working his way back from the reconstructive surgery. What do you think of what this team has beyond the pitchers that we've just talked about, and having Woodruff back has to give them an enormous boost?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Woodruff holds up over time, because the stuff is different. This is not the Brandon Woodruff who has like 100 in the tank. You know, we've seen Brandon Woodruff, the power pitcher. I feel like this is Brandon Woodruff 2.0. This is Brandon Woodruff with a cutter and Brandon Woodruff with a sweeper. It's a different pitcher than we've seen in the past. And being more of that command and control guy than the just overwhelming power guy, look, at 94 you can survive, right? And that's where his fastball was yesterday. It's not the 96 that we typically saw, but that's okay. You can be effective like that. And I didn't know what to think when he was coming back. I really had no idea what he was going to look like, and I think yesterday was a pleasant surprise.
All right, and the most important question, and it's not what is an EIF, but I saw your post that Jack, your son, has committed to Williams College. And congratulations on that. That's awesome. I did try to find some gear. Their store is closed on their website, so I like to wear random college hoodies, and I'll have to track one down there. But I am curious about something. Tausch's kids have a former NFL player as a dad. Our girls have a sports writer as a dad, as do Jack and your other son. I'm curious. I always feel like being around all these coaches and players, it gives us a little bit of an interesting perspective that we can impart some of their knowledge of how they get through adversity and how they train and what they say about effort and work ethic that we can pass on. Do you do any of that with your boys, or are they just gifted because your wife is a great athlete and they got her genes like mine did?
I 100% do that with them because nobody knows what it's like to be a professional athlete or to be a high stakes athlete like someone who's actually done it. I can pretend, but all I'm doing is just taking the collected wisdom that I've gleaned throughout many years of doing this and trying to pass it along. That being said, he doesn't listen to me. So why? No, I mean which is fine. Which is like you know what? Whatever it takes, I'll come up to him, like with some audio that I had talking with a player, and try and play it for him. And after I play it for him, he'll just look at me and be like, "Okay."
Oh my God!
What can you do?
Been there.
What can you do? Yeah, the problem is he's way smarter than me, and I know this, and so it's to the point now where I haven't given up, but like he's got things under control. He didn't want me to help with recruiting at all. I didn't help with recruiting at all, and he got into the college that he wanted to get into. So God bless him.
Well, we wish him luck both there and as he finishes up high school. But, Jeff, I'm sorry Jesse wasn't here. I know this wasn't nearly as enjoyable for you. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye, guys.
That is the great Jeff Passan, who is always so generous with his time with us, whether Jesse's here or not. God, he's so good, and we're so much smarter every time we get to talk to him.
I'll tell you this. There's a lot, and I know Hunter will be just plowing through because he said some things there.
He did.
He's basically saying it's time to pony up. That's what I heard. It's time to make a big splash, and that it's nice and all this. But he thinks that this team with the pitching and everything else, it's win now. And how often do we hear that when it comes to the Milwaukee Brewers?
No, it is time for a big splash, kind of like you like to make a big splash by having a Coors Light when you're overheating and you need the silver bullet.
It was a muggy weekend and a lot of Coors Light drank. And whether you're tailgating pregame, having a cookout, sitting at a pool party, doesn't matter. It's cracking open a Rocky Mountain cold Coors Light, brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered. And it is cold packaged because it is made to chill. You know I love it. Make sure those mountains are blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
More next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Feel the thrill, chase the excitement, and win big with jackpots soaring to $1 million. Your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot game. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com.
With your Badger Minute, I'm Riley Yauk. Nick Osen of Badger 247 joined myself and Pablo Iglesias on the Jump Around Thursday afternoon and shared some insight into what he believes is a much improved Wisconsin football team.
I think that there's an honesty that, hey, we need to be better. We need to have better personnel and just really kind of go all in terms of what you can do defensively. I think team's in a good spot. Culture's in a really good spot. And now it's just about, hey, can you get back to that bowl game and hopefully get one or two of those marquee wins.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owned. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Avondale Roofing is knocking on your door. Leaking roof? Man, that's a shame. Call the real pros. We running this game. We patch it, thatch it, no need to stress. Our crew shows up and cleans up the mess. No drips, no drafts, no drama at all. Just tight new shingles, then a leak-proof hall. Hey.
It's nothing but Avondale, baby. They keep it dry when the weather gets crazy. Hey.
Visit AvondaleRoofing.com. That is AvondaleRoofing.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Ever thought about hitting a golf ball in Camp Randall Stadium? Well, now is your chance. On August 1st and 2nd, you can enjoy a VIP experience while hitting tee shots from the upper deck throughout the stadium down to custom greens on the field below. Start and end your round with great music, cold beers, food, and numerous golf challenges. Event is open to all ages, but hurry because tee times will go fast. Go to upperdeckgolf.com to book a tee time today. That's upperdeckgolf.com.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
I remember the nights when we were young, dumb, and wild and free.
I think the Brewers are one big bat away from being a legitimate World Series contender. Like, I think that's what the ceiling of this team is.
I don't know if you could see my face when Jeff Passan said that on the YouTube stream or on Twitter or Facebook. That's a big matzo ball out there. That's a big statement. Now, he goes on to explain that he's not exactly sure where you're going to find that bat or put that bat if they were to try to acquire it. And he says that they'll have to get creative. But Tausch, for a team that had certain people on the panel questioning the manager not that long ago, for Jeff Passan to say that, what went through your head?
Well, I think every team could use a big bat. I think that tells me that, nationally the Brewers are looked at in a very positive light. They have the pitching that can get it done. But that wasn't even the most interesting thing that he said, that Jeff Passan said with us there. I think it was more kind of similar to what we were talking about last year, the expectation game, and the fact that this team and this franchise, while I think we all understand that there's some economic headwinds against it because of some of the other markets, the time is now. And it felt to me as if Jeff Passan was saying, hey, guys, you've done this. You've figured ways to do it on a budget. Sometimes upgrade to first class. Don't always sit in the back of the bus. Move it on up. And correct me if I'm wrong, Jason. As I was listening to him, he was saying, Mark Antanasio, go spend some money this season and make a push because you got Woody, you got Peralta. Who knows if that's going to be the case next season with the trade? Go make a splash. Go make a big splash. You can do it. And I would bet there's a lot of Brewers fans that feel the same way.
Yeah, there's more to it, and I know that Hunter during the breaks will work on cutting up some of that audio. That was a short one that started my experience with Jeff that continued through a number of other things he said. There's no question about that. We'll get to more of that a little bit later in the show. If you missed the interview that we're talking about, it'll be available on the podcast. You can get it on YouTube. I know Pablo is cutting up some of it too as well for our social media channels. But Jeff's the best, and his insights and his thoughts were pretty big time to be thinking about the Brewers in those terms, especially for those of us that, as you and I did, watched just a bit outside not that long ago. To use the words World Series with the Brewers, which is not something that has happened very many times since 1982, that gets your attention. And we'll talk more about it as we roll on. But we want to get to the Packers and our discussions that we had on Saturday at Summerfest with Gabe Neitzel and Alex Strofe on the State of the Packers show. We'll do that coming up. Want to remind you, though, that we've got a great new partner on Wilde and Tausch, and Josh and the team that put this together. I'm just really excited to be part of it. It is Lakeland Supply, and we all know that core values are an important piece to any successful business, and Lakeland Supply is no different. They've been displaying their core values in the industrial supply space for over 40 years. Integrity, excellence, stewardship, partnership, and faith. They're ISO certified, a Future 50 winner, top rated in customer satisfaction, and they believe in giving back to the community. Lakeland isn't one of those catalog companies. They work to be your packaging and supply expert, building plans around what you want. Lakeland Supply is in business to make your business better. So set up a free packaging and supply chain assessment at lakelandsupply.com. That's lakelandsupply.com. The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch starts in 2 minutes, so stick around.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, this is former Badger Pro Football Hall of Famer Joe Thomas. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison. Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. ESPN MLB writer Jeff Passan just joined Wilde and Tausch, and he feels like the Milwaukee Brewers, they're just a piece away from really being able to contend.
I think the Brewers are one big bat away from being a legitimate World Series contender. Like, I think that's what the ceiling of this team is.
You can listen back to that entire appearance from ESPN's Jeff Passan on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts. Speaking of the Milwaukee Brewers, Brandon Woodruff made his return to the Brewers rotation. The two-time All-Star hadn't pitched for Milwaukee in 652 days after Tommy John surgery in 2023. But he did throw 6 innings and allowed just 1 run on 2 hits in a 3-1 win over the Miami Marlins. Hour 2 of Wilde and Tausch starts right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Thanks again to Jeff Passan. I know some of you joined that late, so again, we'll have that across our social media channels on YouTube and, of course, in the podcast as well. Tausch, so Saturday we were at the Summerfest grounds for the annual State of the Packers show. Gabe Neitzel, Alex Strofe, and myself. And as we were just about to go on the air, Summerfest is an eclectic mix of folks. It's good people watching. I'm always fascinated by the folks that we are clearly talking into our microphones, and that yet they come up and try to talk to you. Like, we're a radio show. We're talking on the radio. I can't talk to you right now. If you could wait for a commercial break, that would be great. But that's one thing. It's another when a man in a full, and I mean full, cape and all, Superman costume approaches the Pella windows and doors of Wisconsin Mobile Studios. And he's carrying a speaker playing Superman's theme from the Christopher Reeve era of Superman. You love that analogy. I regret to inform you that we did not credit you for that analogy because Superman was there in the flesh himself. But it led to a conversation about Jordan Love. By the way, if you were going to wear a costume to Summerfest, I would obviously wear Elmo, and it would be very warm because it was 90 degrees even by the lake on Saturday. Would you have a go-to costume that you'd be willing to walk around Summerfest in?
I'd probably go as Hoss.
Hoss?
Yeah.
From like Bonanza?
I think it's either Bonanza or one of those old westerns. Yeah. Hoss.
Is that what you wore to Morgan Wallen?
Vest, cowboy hat. That's what I'd have probably rocked as.
Well,
Nobody from Dallas.
Well, it's along the same lines.
No, it's similar. But, yeah, I wouldn't go superhero I would go probably somebody in the Western genre.
Well,
I'd pick.
The Man of Steel has clearly let himself go a bit, but it did lead to the conversation about Jordan Love, which you have had on this show previously, but that we had in turn on the State of the Packers show. Here is how that conversation went.
The Packers don't need their quarterback to be Superman. And I don't like to recycle lines, but as you pointed out, I'm on so many shows, it's hard not to. They don't have to win always because of Jordan Love. They need to win with him. And sometimes that means he's going to have to make those Superman plays and have those moments. But what they definitely need, and look, he had those throws last season, right, Gabe? I mean, there were throws where you were like, whew, that's a wow throw. Remember when I used to talk about how few of those we saw when he was a backup and he was in practice? We saw plenty of wow throws over the last 2 seasons. What we need to see is healthy and consistent play from him in 2025, and if that happens, that puts them in a much different place this season than they finished last year, losing 3 in a row to close the year.
If I may.
You may.
If I may. That is almost verbatim what I've said on the show 50 times. So I don't care if Superman is I don't care if Christopher Reeves is flying down Summerfest. Or I think Christopher Reeves passed, right?
It'd be David Cornsweet is the new Superman.
David Cornsweet is his name?
Yes.
I'm sorry, you can't have a Superman named Cornsweet.
Well,
No.
they do, and it looks fantastic.
Well,
by
they
the way.
can. That doesn't mean it's right. But if I may, I work hard on this show to try and provide original content. I don't do 100 shows like you, so it's fair. But when you utilize basically verbatim ideas that I have and that I have said on this show 10 times, I want to be cited. You just took exactly what I've said on this show throughout this entire OTA and minicamp period. You just went. The only thing you didn't say is, I don't need him to go in I need him to be Clark Kent, too. I don't need him to be putting a blanket cape on all the time. You just said that, and that's why when we get that audio last night, I'm like, well, just wait a second. I said that. I literally have said that for weeks and months, and now you're trying to put it on some random cat floating around Summerfest? I'm sorry, bro. I need a bibliography, and Old T needs to be cited when you're going to utilize that. That's just where it's at. That's how I feel.
Mark Tauscher is the only person to have ever thought about a superhero analogy when it comes to a quarterback.
No, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. But you know I've pounded the Superman thing home here. You know that. Clark Kent. How many times have I Clark Kented, caped, and Superman in the Jordan Love conversation? 10? 15? Hours. I have.
Mark Tauscher was the first to come up with the idea of Jordan Love not having to be.
This is just disingenuous, and this irritates me even more. So I'm going to swallow my ego, even though I shouldn't.
Are you?
And I am going to say, no, I will, because I'm not going to sit here and pout. And I get it. There's a lot of airtime. I understand it. But the point being, which you brought up with Clark Kent and everybody down at Summerfest, is I don't know if Jordan Love needs to be Superman, but I think he needs more Superman moments than what we saw last season. And if you remember Superman I want to say it was with the old coach from Hoosiers, Gene Hackman, when he was in it.
Played Lex
and if you
Luthor.
remember, Superman was fighting himself at the dump. If you guys remember, he was drunk. Superman comes in, he's all boozed up, and he was fighting himself, and he finally had to come to grips. He's like, I can't keep doing it this way. And the other Superman said, he's pushing the Leaning Tower of Pisa, and he's going back and he's fixing it, and he fought himself and he won. Superman won that battle. And I think for some of the moments last year, Jordan Love had some of that Superman dump era where he was battling. He's whipping balls underhand, getting pick sixes. If you can get rid of the Superman dump era and just go and be Clark Kent punching in and then going when you need to, when there's a cat up in a tree or there's somebody that needs to be saved off of a roof, go put your cape on and do it. But you don't need to be walking around Summerfest and you don't need to be walking around Oneida Street in your Superman cape. You only need to put it on when necessary, but you can't be dumpy Superman. And if you get rid of the dumpy Superman, you're going to end up being a playoff and a championship contender.
I'm not familiar with Superman 3. Is that the one with Richard Pryor in it?
It is.
Yes.
It's probably the worst of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, but
not as good as Superman 4, The Quest for Peace?
I don't think so. Some people prefer that 3 to 4, but I think 3 is the worst.
Okay. And there's a scene where Superman fights himself.
Yes, it's like an evil version of himself. He gets split and then he's fighting
It's
himself.
like that Spider-Man meme where they're pointing at each other kind of a thing?
Yeah, basically.
It's not. No, it's nothing like that.
Well, no, it's multiple.
It's you're battling
versions,
your own
Tausch.
demons, Jason.
It doesn't have to be a one-to-one comparison.
It's an analogy. He's fighting himself, but he's really fighting his demons?
No, he's literally fighting himself.
I guess I'll have to rent it on VHS at Blockbuster because I've never seen that one.
They're all on Max, so if you got HBO,
you
can get them all
okay. There you go.
I've been
I
on
will
a
check
big
that out.
Superman kick with the movie coming out Thursday.
Oh, you have been?
I have.
So wait, did you just watch Superman 3 and Tausch dropped a Superman 3 reference?
I watched Superman 3 last week, so...
Really? What are the odds of that?
Yeah, I've been going through and rewatching all of the movies. I won't watch Man of Steel because Zack Snyder ruined Superman. But yeah, I've been going through watching the animated stuff. Watched Death of Superman last night. So.
And you're a fan of Corn Sweat.
I'm a big
new
fan.
Guy.
Very big fan of this new Superman. He'll actually be positive and save cats out of the trees and not be all I'm mad all the time because I have all this power and I have to use it. He actually wants to help people and enjoys helping people and wants to help kids and yeah, it's going to be good.
Wait, I'm sorry. I don't want to continue to digress
on a nerdy
here.
Rant there, sorry.
But wait, Superman in some of these subsequent post Christopher Reeve films is mad all the time because he's got all this power?
Basically,
they're darker?
Yeah, the Zack Snyder Henry Cavill played him. It was very literally in the Man of Steel movie that Henry Cavill was in, his dad, Pa Kent, tells him not to save him from a tornado because he doesn't want people to see that he has powers. Where a big part of Superman's story is that Pa Kent dies from a heart attack and it's something Superman can't stop. So it's that reminder of I can't do everything. And Zack Snyder was nah, bro, you're just going to not save him because I don't want you to. And they didn't want to pay Kevin Costner for more of the movie, probably. So I have very
and Kevin Costner was the dad that they killed off?
Yes.
I'm sorry. This Christopher Reeve is Superman to me, and then the old guy on TV once upon a time. I remember those.
The David Corn Sweat will, I think, change that for a lot of people. I think this is going to be really good.
So now we know that it's when we have the power rankings of topics that Hunter Vaughn is interested in.
Oh, you get me going with comic books.
I
literally have a
Gerald
different
Ford,
superhero analogy. Yeah.
And then Superman. Is there anything else we should be aware of since you are producing the next 3 days, according to sources?
Yeah. Batman up ahead of Superman. That one I could do an entire show about Batman stuff. And then I think college football somewhere in there as well.
Okay. Well, you're an enigmatic character, Hunter.
I'm a complicated fella.
You are a complicated fella, you and Aaron Rodgers. All right, we will get to more of the things we discussed during the State of the Packers show. I do want to talk a little bit about the defense as well, but I'm glad we got to talk about the Superman analogy. Because, yes, Superman was there, but in the little Ibid bibliography, there should be a little number 65 next to the reference. Noting.
I don't feel like you feel that way, though. And for someone in journalism that cites stuff, I'm a little disappointed in your smugness. And
why are you always trying to stir stuff up,
You don't
Jason?
feel like you needed to cite it. I could tell because you're doing this thing with your voice, and that's why I just wanted to move away, because I'm not going to sit here and fight with you on air. But I could tell you're crazy, even though I know I'm not.
I would just say this, and then we can move forward. If you listened to all the appearances that I make across our various shows, you would hear me talk in glowing terms about you on a very regular basis. And unfortunately, in this instance, this fellow that approached the booth had some of us a little rattled as we worked our way through the incident. So it was certainly not a conscious choice to not credit you, and I thought
incident?
I tried to make that.
What was the incident?
Tausch.
He literally interrupted the show like we were just starting, and he brought his own speaker, like you could hear the Superman music while we were trying to start the show.
He's you should be thanking him. He's providing you content.
Yeah, but then
that should be a hat tip.
It was then Alex Strofe, who was driving the show, then asked the question, does Jordan Love need to be the Packers Superman next season? So Strofe was the one that should have been crediting you in reality. This really isn't on Jason.
Thank you, Hunter.
You're welcome.
It never is. If there's one thing I've learned in 9 years, it never is. That is for sure. That is for sure.
More Wilde and Tausch. Straight ahead. Stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tausch here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Summer road trips are great. Troubles with your vehicle on those road trips? Not so much. Don't risk waiting until it's too late to resolve an issue with your car. Stop in and trust the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevy before you hit the road for a big trip. Zimbrick's service team takes great care of my vehicle anytime I need to bring it in for serious issues or just for routine maintenance. There is a reason Zimbrick Chevrolet is consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you don't get stranded on the side of the road. Call or click to schedule a service appointment and learn more at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road, or visit PellaWI.com today.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities, plus membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Jeff Levering with the Brewers Radio Network. Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's trusted name in home improvement, does more than just top-quality roofing. They're your go-to for maintenance-free siding and energy-efficient windows, too. Ridgetop has expert credentials with leading manufacturers like Pella, James Hardie, and LP Smart Siding. For over 20 years, they delivered exceptional craftsmanship and service. Call Ridgetop Exteriors today or visit ridgetopexteriors.com. Ridgetop Exteriors, where customer service always comes first.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Summer is heating up, and so are the prizes at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. On Friday, July 25th, 38 winners will take home a combination of cash and rewards play in our Kabooming Riches promotion. We're talking a total of $81,000 in total prizes. 2 winners will be selected every half hour starting at noon and going until 9 p.m. And the prizes get bigger and bigger as the day goes on. Kaboom! We're bursting with prizes at
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
What's in your summer survival kit? Mark Tausch here, and I'll tell you what should be. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and for just $12.99, a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For a limited time, choose from 4 loaded legends, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the spicy Hawaiian for just $12.99. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. A perfect summer go-to order. Order up before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, nobody out-pizzas the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
We're on the Bucks.
Dame Lillard, by all accounts, is a good dude. He's a good teammate.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
He's obviously one of the top 75 players of all time, but it didn't work in Milwaukee.
100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Bucks.
Just a quick follow-up to the Superman conversation and the visitor interloper from the planet Krypton who joined us at Summerfest. So if we're not asking, and look, Hunter, you know way more about superheroes than I do. That is not my area of expertise. Who does need to be a superhero? Like, I think back to the Hall of Justice. I don't know if that's too old of a cartoon for you, Tausch, but they had, the Wonder Twins and Aquaman. They all worked in the same office building, all the superheroes.
Was the Grape Ape part of that?
I don't think he was. I think he was on the didn't they have like a competition show where all the different cartoon characters were like Battle of the Network Stars, where he was on a team?
Yeah.
I remember
what was
that.
the name of it? It was the Wonder Team. What was that whole
Yes,
group
the
called?
Wonder Twins. They would do a fist bump, and then they could activate into take the form of a pail of water or whatever it might have been. But so they had everybody there, right? Batman and Robin and Wonder Woman and the whole gang all working out of the Hall of Justice or whatever that building was. It looked like an old Kohl's grocery store. It had the arcing roof. But they do have other people on this team. There are other types of superheroes besides the Man of Steel. Like, who does need to be a superhero on this group? The first one that comes to mind for me is Rashawn Gary, because they've paid him like a superhero. It's time for him to do some superhero things as a pass rusher. No?
I think it's I don't know if you can ask him to be Superman. I would say if the first 2 names that came to my mind when you said that, outside of obviously Jordan Love being a pseudo Superman, would be Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. Those, I believe, are our 2 best players at their position. I think they're, if you want to get rid, I'm not going to get into the O-line. We talk enough about that. But Josh Jacobs, I think, needs to have a season as good, if not better, than what he did last year. And is that fair? That's a big ask. To stay healthy and to be available for that, but to be able to be as productive yards after contact, which it turns out I think was, behind an offensive line that the Green Bay Packers themselves didn't feel was that great with how they've approached it. So if Josh Jacobs, now that this O-line is more in line with what Brian Gutekunst and Matt LaFleur want, I think he needs to be more of a home run hitter than maybe what we saw from last year. And I don't think that's a fair It's not fair, but it's also not fair to ask Superman to do all the things that Superman does. Like, that's not fair. And I think that's probably why Hunter feels like maybe the Superman franchise is dipped, because Superman's feeling that pressure of having to do all that. And it sounds like this is going to be a little bit more of a happier, go-luckier type Superman filling in this new role. I think this movie's coming out this week.
Cornhole, or whatever his name is.
Corn Sweat,
sorry. Tausch, I'm glad you brought up the shot.
You would think that professionally he'd change that name. Corn Sweat?
The thing is, like, because it's such a goofy name, and then because I've been so into this movie, they've been showing, like, clips of him behind the scenes. It just works for him. Like, he literally bought a dog.
You got a little crush on Corn Sweat, it sounds like. You got a little crush on Corn
No, I've got a crush on the Superman
sweet
movie.
corn on Corn Set.
He's very sweet on Corn Sweat. That's true.
Just for those of you
I'm going to say something that I don't think is controversial, but you got your big three when it comes to superhero movies. And I don't do Marvel. I'm not in on the Marvel series. I'm not in on it.
Okay.
Superman, even when you factor Reeves into it, it is a distant third in the superhero sequel, in the superhero cycle. And I have a hard time, because Batman with Christian Bale was so good. I've always been a Spider-Man, especially with Tobey Maguire. It goes Batman, Spider-Man, Superman. And I don't think Superman's particularly close. I think Spider-Man and Batman work, and Bale just blew it out the water to elevate himself past Spider-Man. Without Bale, I think it's Spider-Man, Batman, Superman. Superman needs a new Reeves. They need this Corn Sweat to really elevate, because it is dipped. They're basically struggling. They got 1 foot off the medal stand. Is how I got. First place is here. Second place is tiered pretty close, and then third place would be almost against the ground. And I think they got 1 foot off the podium. That's how I view this this superhero complex.
So the casting has been their kryptonite, you would say.
Good one.
Casting, the writing, having a dude bro director like Zack Snyder try to do what's supposed to be a happy, like, dorky character and make him.
Oh, Batman got pretty dark, and it was awesome.
Batman is dark, and he's supposed to be dark. Superman is supposed to be the big blue Boy Scout that's positive and the uplifting one, and that's why they work so well together when they're together in, like, the comic books or leading the Justice League. That's why.
All right, well, happy birthday tomorrow to David Packard Corn Sweat, who will turn 32 tomorrow. So a big week for David. With everything that's going on. By the way, the spelling on this, Corenswet. So if you do Google Corn Sweat.
Corenswet. It's Corenswet.
Yes, I think he should change the accents on the syllables and change it up a little bit. But Hunter will give us our report at some point when he goes and sees this film. Tausch can always give us a report on his local Quick Trip, because he's always getting his Karuba coffee without a cover and all kinds of great snacks and for reals and chicken.
Indeed, it is Monday, so it is Chicken Monday. I told you we went over to a little cookout, took that blueberry pie. Thought, you know what goes great with blueberry pie? Vanilla ice creams. We stopped down over at Quick Trip for that. And this summer, we got a way for you to make some money. Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Every sip gets you closer to the summit. Now through August 17th, play each day for free right in the Quick Rewards app. You can score bonus plays with every eligible item you grab, like an ice-cold Pepsi, bold Mountain Dew, or your hydrating Gatorade or Propel. $5,000 a week, stacking higher and higher until one player reaches that top prize of $250K. So get climbing now in the Quick Rewards app, and you can also get white bread, 99 cents a loaf, lean ground beef, 73%, $2.99 a pound, Simply Potato shredded hash browns, $1.99. Well, we all get it. Life is busy. It makes your life simple when you're going out. Just go grab what you need. Quick Trip's got you covered. Take advantage of everything Quick Trip has to offer, like rewards on every purchase, and you can order ahead. And Quick Trip, we'll see you next time.
To Tausch's point, I think in the break I'm going to read this story from GQ. Can David Cornsweat save Superman? I want to make sure I find out more about the idea of rescuing, because I think this one you're right on. He needs a reboot, and Cornsweat needs to get her done. We'll talk more about the Packers and less about superheroes next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Toscher here, encouraging you to save money and help save the planet by making an energy switch to Everlight Solar. Whether you're saving up to buy tickets to a big game, spending more on family trips during the summer, or gearing up for a big purchase, we're all trying to save money, right? Well, making the switch to solar is a great way to not only save money, but also help save the planet. Our family recently made the switch to solar, and we love it. At first, we weren't just quite sure where to even start. That's when we met the great team over at Everlight Solar. From the very first conversation, they educated us on the benefits of solar while also helping keep the process simple. Join us in saving a ton of money and creating a greener environment for our family and the community by switching to solar. Learn more and schedule a free consultation at everlightsolar.com. That's everlightsolar.com.
Gear up for Quick Trip's Mountain Dew Quick Climb. Now through August 17th. Play free daily in the Quick Rewards app and earn bonus plays with every eligible purchase. Grab one with hot food. That's 2 bonus plays. Each week, the cash prize climbs by $5,000, all the way to a $250,000 grand prize. So open the app and get climbing. Your summer, your climb, your win. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents residing in Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, Michigan, South Dakota, North Dakota, or Wisconsin. Ends August 17th. Bonus plays require qualifying purchase. See full rules at quicktrip.com/sweepstakes.
Metro Kia of Madison is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home to the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle, Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. Whether you're looking for a new or pre-owned Kia, you can browse their extensive inventory and find this month's specials at MetroKiaofMadison.com. That's MetroKiaofMadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership on the east side of Madison today.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
It's racing season. That means Road America in Elkhart Lake is the place to be. ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust and IndyCar driver Graham Rahal chat about what makes Road America special for drivers and fans.
What makes Road America so unique and different than anywhere else that you go?
I think it's the length of the straightaways. You know, in an IndyCar, there's 3 places on that racetrack that, in essence, you hit maximum velocity. There's no other track that we go to year-round where that's the case. And I think that's what the drivers all love about it. From a fan's perspective, you love it because it's easy to get around. You can see a lot of different places. You know, you can sit up on the hill watching the last corner, eat a brat, get some sweet corn and see that side of it. But then, of course, you can also, go back about a Canada corner. So many different aspects, different areas to watch, to cheer on your favorite driver. I think that's what's so cool and unique about this place as well.
Be part of race day this summer at Road America. Visit roadamerica.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
We're on the Bucks.
Putting $20 million of dead cap on your books for the next 5 years is bad business.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It's way worse to lose Giannis. That's horrible business.
100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Bucks.
Slow down on Monday, not a sound. On Wednesday, might get loud. On Friday, but on Saturday, we paint the town. Lose my sense of time or 2 weeks feel like
It's a really interesting story, Hunter, about the Superman franchise and what a big gamble this is as they try to revive Superman. Our good buddy, and usually he's a Bucks expert, but apparently he's got some knowledge of superheroes as well. Bale and Christopher Nolan were the ones who saved Batman, because if you recall, as was pointed out by some of our teammates and friends, Batman was dead, right? I mean, they had tried a bunch of different Batmans in those. Clooney, Val Kilmer. Who was the other one? He was Mr. Mom. It was bad. It had gone. Okay. It was no longer popular. Michael Keaton, that's who it was. And Bale, to Tausch's point, and Christopher Nolan, who directed those films, that was a turnaround in a big way. We'll move on from the world of superheroes, because when I asked you about a superhero for the Packers and you said Josh Jacobs as one of the two, that was part of our conversation on Saturday, because you just said about the offensive line that it wasn't good enough. And my argument would be the Packers didn't rearrange their offensive line to improve their pass protection. They rearranged their offensive line so they could be an even better running team. Would you agree or disagree with that opinion?
Ooh, it's a good question. I know Jordan Love didn't get sacked a bunch last year. I do think they felt like the interior part of that group gave up more pressures and stuff in Jordan's face and made Jordan move off his spot sooner rather than later. But I thought one of the stats that Jason Wilde really did a good job early in the offseason of putting out there about yards after contact. That Josh Jacobs had, compared to Saquon, it was like crazy town what Josh was able to do. And that is a sign of, you give up some penetration, you leave guys unblocked, you don't get up to the second level. Guys have open shots at Josh, and Josh was able to avoid and make guys miss or run guys over, whatever it was. So I think your question is interesting. There is no doubt I feel like the Packers felt like the inside, and especially at center, they were not good enough. And that's why they went and did what they did. And whether that is on short yardage, or whether it's goal line, whatever it might look like, the run game, I think, especially those hard yards, I don't think there was any problem on first and second down. I think it was they didn't trust that they wouldn't get penetration and that they struggled on short yardage. And I don't know what the stats, just like I was surprised by how well they did explosive run-wise last year, I don't know if I'd be surprised at what their third and fourth down short yardage run game looked like last year. But I would say if you pinned me down and asked, I would say the run game was probably the big reason why the Packers moved the chairs around and brought in Banks to try and solidify that part of their game.
We'll talk more about Josh Jacobs, because I do want to ask you a follow-up question to that as I get ready. We're up to number 14 on our most important Packers list with 27 players on it. But eventually we're going to...
That's the most you thing in the world, Jason, by the way.
It's on brand.
I appreciate it so much.
I wouldn't deny that. But eventually I will have to pick a number one. and someone else will have to be number 2. And I want to bounce an idea off of Tausch. I have not made my final determination yet. The list is still fluid. But I do, especially after you brought up the yards before contact versus after contact, and we talked about the offensive line a little bit there. I am curious for your take, which I will get after you tell us about your take on UW Credit Union and your love of having that cute rascal Bucky Badger on your debit card.
For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years, and they're going to help you reach your financial goals. And people ask, why do you want to join UW Credit Union? Well, let's keep your banking local. They have great member-first service and great perks like early payday, but it's just great to be around Wisconsin. I mean, Bucky, you got all these different options on your card. Bucky is one. You got the Union. You have all those things, but I love having Bucky on mine. And if you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom will make you do crazy things, but this makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member today. Get that Bucky card. Get the card you want. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions do apply.
We'll get to a little more conversation about Josh Jacobs next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Mark Tausch here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. The name you can trust. Summer road trips are great. Troubles with your vehicle on those road trips? Not so much. Don't risk waiting until it's too late to resolve an issue with your car. Stop in and trust the fantastic service team at Zimbrick Chevy before you hit the road for a big trip. Zimbrick's service team takes great care of my vehicle anytime I need to bring it in for serious issues or just for routine maintenance. There is a reason Zimbrick Chevrolet is consistently recognized as a best of Madison operation. Get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you don't get stranded on the side of the road. Call or click to schedule a service appointment and learn more at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Steinhoffels. Their Memorial Day sale has been extended. Last chance to save 10% off store-wide and take advantage of Steinhoffels' 18-month 0% financing only at Steinhoffels.
Nick Osen of Badger 247 joined myself and Pablo Iglesias on the Jump Around Thursday afternoon and shared some insight into what he believes is a much-improved Wisconsin football team.
I think that there's an honesty that, hey, we need to be better. We need to have better personnel and just really kind of go all in terms of what you can do defensively. I think team's in a good spot. Culture's in a really good spot. And now it's just about, can you get back to that bowl game and hopefully get one or two of those marquee wins.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
Celebrate Happy Gilmore 2 at the Bridges. On Sunday, July 27th, play in the Be Happy 2 or 4-person scramble for $120 per person. Includes 18 holes of golf with a cart, prizes, and dinner. Find more details at golfthebridges.com today.
Summer is here and there's no better way to celebrate than with Door County Distillery. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. I've been telling you for years how great Door County Distillery is. Locally produced, handcrafted, and award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. The sun is shining and so can the Rock Island Rum from Door County Distillery in your summertime cocktail. Otherwise, vodkas, gins, whiskeys, brandies, and more, it's all available from the award-winning Door County Distillery. Find a huge list of unique cocktail recipes and the retailer nearest you, DoorCountyDistillery.com. That's DoorCountyDistillery.com.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions presented by Siding Unlimited. Trust Siding Unlimited with your next window and door project.
What's in your summer survival kit? Mark Tausch here, and I'll tell you what should be. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and for just $12.99, a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut. For a limited time, choose from 4 loaded legends, meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the spicy Hawaiian for just $12.99. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. A perfect summer go-to order. Order up before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. And remember, nobody out-pizzas the Hut. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
We're on the Bucks.
Putting $20 million of dead cap on your books for the next 5 years is bad business.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
It's way worse to lose Giannis. That's horrible business.
100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Bucks.
So we're up to number 14, which is Kenny Clark, on the countdown of most important Packers.
He was 97.
He is both. And soon he'll be 30, which means he won't have much time left with the Green Bay Packers. But Tausch, I'm not, obviously we got another week and a half or so.
Hey, Jason, if the Packers hadn't extended him last season, would he still... If they knew the season he had, I know he was injured, would they still have signed him?
You mean if they hadn't extended him, he'd be cheaper, so maybe they would have kept him? If that makes sense, like this year, because he wouldn't cost that much?
So he'd be on this team regardless, is what you're
telling me. I think so.
Okay.
Okay. I won't say that same thing about next year. And again, he talked about the foot/toe injury that he suffered in Brazil, and it was a factor all season long. Did you ever have foot issue? I mean, we know your feet are gnarly, and that's why you get your pedicures. But did you ever have like turf toe, or because people I think don't appreciate how painful and problematic those can be, especially for you bigger guys in the trenches. Did you ever deal with any of that? Did you ever have to play through that kind of thing?
Yeah, I tore my plantar fasciitis. I had plantar fasciitis. I want to say I did it we opened up against Carolina. It was either week 1 or week 2, and I felt it rip in the early part of that game, and it was one of the hardest seasons I went through because I didn't miss any games, but I couldn't sleep. It was one of those, I had to get one of those things where it bends your toes backwards to keep flexion in your foot. And then every morning you'd wake up and it was miserable, and then you'd have to rehab it, and it sucks. So I think for everybody that's just saying, well, Kenny Clark had a bad year. Kenny had turf toe, which I have not had, but I know it is a painful deal, and you can't function. There's certain things you can do, like if your shoulder or even if it's a knee and you can brace it up, there's not a lot you can do for a foot. And it's integral to everything you do. So that's why I think Kenny Clark, he obviously did that thing with Glazer down in Mexico, I think early this offseason. I think he's primed to have a big-time comeback season.
So you can't. So there's nothing you can do, like in terms of, you obviously tape your ankles or spat up outside your cleats. What did you do to try and get through games with that?
There's
Chewy's played with it too
a
couple times, I think.
Yeah, there's ways you tape it in order to maybe alleviate it, but there's just certain times that it just you're going and you don't think about it and pop, you feel it, it's there, and there's nothing you can do about it.
So anyway, Kenny Clark is number 14. You can read that at channel3000.com. We are not yet to number 1 and number 2, but I think I want to make the argument that Josh Jacobs should be number 1. I'm not sure that I'm going to. But there's an argument to be made, right? We just talked about the offensive line adjustment, more so for the run game than the pass game, right? Aaron Banks does not have a track record as this star-spangled, awesome pass protector as a left guard. He is a really, really good run blocker, and he's a good pass blocker. I'm not saying he's not, but that's not viewed as his number one strength. They've obviously moved Elton Jenkins to center. They are creating competition at left tackle because they're in part because they think Jordan Morgan can be a better run blocker than Rasheed Walker has been for them. We know they have Zach Tom, who they feel good about, and then we'll see. If it doesn't work out at left tackle for Jordan Morgan, maybe he'll compete with Sean Ryan at right guard. But we talked about the statistic that Saquon Barkley had one fewer yard before contact than Josh Jacobs had all season last year. Total rushing yards. 1,329 total yards for Josh, 1,328 before contact out of those 2,000 yards for Saquon Barkley. They don't have a guy at this point, although they like Emmanuel Wilson and they have high hopes for Marshawn Lloyd. Josh Jacobs is clearly the guy. Jordan Love is clearly the guy at quarterback, but they did have a quarterback who basically won 3 games for them when he had to play. So is there an argument to be made for Josh Jacobs being a smidge more important than the quarterback, or is that stupid talk by me?
No, I don't think it's stupid talk. I think that quarterback always, with the fact that they touch the ball every snap and make the decision making, it's going to be hard to not put Jordan Love at 1. But if you're going to put somebody else and you want to be a little edgy, I don't think Josh Jacobs is edgy. I think Josh Jacobs, I think you've built your team and you built the way you want to play offense around having Josh Jacobs. You're doing things a little differently, and I'm interested to see if they meld some of that under center, even though I know LaFleur filibustered you last year on that whole concept. They're going to go more under center if they want to get, especially if they're going to use 2 tights and everything else that we're thinking they might be doing. Josh Jacobs is going to be integral to it, but I would be hard-pressed to put him ahead of Jordan Love as far as who's going to be the biggest difference maker for this season to go one way or the other. If you want to be really edgy, you go Elton Jenkins 1, because all of the uncertainty and what you're looking for, if they don't bring Elton Jenkins to get that figured out, and then if he doesn't play at a high level and what his contract status, and there's just a lot there. Elton Jenkins is going to be a critical piece to what this team is doing. And the fact that it's still up in the air, even though I think his will be rectified prior to Zach Tom's, I think Elton Jenkins is a huge piece to this puzzle of what Goody and LaFleur are trying to get done.
Since you bring that up, it's July 7th. Training camp opens July 23rd.
Today is that day that all the guys, they just went and had great weekends, cookouts and fireworks and letting their hair down. And then today they get back in that weight room and they're like, whew, 2 weeks and we're back at it. My body feels great right now, and in 2 weeks, I'm going to reset this thing and I'm going to start feeling like crap by the end of the month. I always said after the 4th of July is when you start cranking it back up, and I'm guessing that's, especially on the mental side of it, football is in your head at this point.
So when, if ever, will you start to be concerned about Elton Jenkins?
I will be concerned if the first or second day of padded practices, Elton Jenkins is still just chilling on the sideline, and we're not hearing that this thing is close. Just like I wasn't concerned with Jordan last year. I know there were some fans that were. You knew that they would have to get it done, and Jordan showing up I thought was a really good step. I will be shocked if Elton doesn't show up, just like I'll be shocked if Zach doesn't show up. But I will be curious if either of them do anything.
if they both
I
called
would
you,
think
they
neither would.
Yeah, so if they FaceTimed you right now, they say, hey, Tausch, we don't want to be on the air. But Zach
paid.
Tom and Elton Jenkins both FaceTimed
paid,
you
is
and
what I
said,
tell
what should we do?
Yep.
Don't go out there until you've been paid.
I don't know what I would say to Zach. I think with Elton, it's real simple. They need to figure something out. I don't blame you one bit for doing it this way. Now, there is going to come a point if the Packers want to play real hardball that Elton will be put in some weird spots because he is going to be compensated well this year. It's just a matter of then this is probably going to be it if you don't figure it out because there's going to be plenty of teams that will want Elton Jenkins to be on their offensive line next season, if they can't figure something out.
You're right about that. Well, they better insure carefully behind him if they're not going to take care of him because this could take a turn, and they won't be dreaming fearlessly at center if it does.
American Family Insurance has been a proud partner of Wilde & Tausch from the jump, and for almost 100 years they've been committed to making life better with the right home and auto protection. Also, you're free to enjoy your dreams. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly with American Family Insurance. Get a quote or find an agent at amfam.com.
The 11 o'clock hour starts in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde & Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde & Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is former Wisconsin linebacker Chris Orr. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station on Wisconsin.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. ESPN MLB writer Jeff Passan joined Wilde & Tausch earlier today. And while he does think the Brewers are a big bat away from the World Series, he also thinks it's time for ownership to spend some money.
That they've done this on the kind of budget that they have and have been able to continue winning, it says to me like at some point Mark Atanasio needs to step forward and give a little bit more in terms of resources. And I don't know if that's at this deadline because honestly, guys, there just aren't a lot of big bats that are likely to be available.
You can listen back to all of Jeff Passan's appearance on Wilde & Tausch on the ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts. The Milwaukee Brewers are in action tonight as they start a 3-game series against the LA Dodgers. First pitch is at 6:40 tonight. Hour 3 of Wilde & Tausch starts now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde & Tausch begins now. And it begins, let's circle back to baseball for a little while since we had Jeff Passan on. And Hunter has been feverishly working to cut up all the audio for that, for our various social media and YouTube channels and everything else. But Tausch, a couple things. One, we heard in the Madison Sports Center there the clip that you pointed to about Atanasio needing to spend and the idea of doing that because they're, as Jeff said, one big bat away potentially from being a World Series contender. Do you get your hopes up for that as a Brewers fan?
No, I don't.
I don't think there's no track record that would lead you to do that. Right?
First off, who's the bat and what is it going to cost? I do think the Brewers have a very strong farm system. They have a lot of young players coming up, but there is going to be a lot of really tough decisions that have to be made. And I believe is Woodruff's contract up after this season?
Let me fact check that for you.
Peralta's is after next season, and I do think I would be shocked if the Milwaukee Brewers do to Peralta what they did to Josh Hader, even though it ended up derailing that season from a psychological standpoint. When they traded Hader, it was the right move, and Jeff was very clear about saying that, and you end up getting some really quality players in return. You're going to have to do something similar with Peralta with that. They're not going to pay him top dollar. Maybe he will stay in Milwaukee because he wants to finish. I would think that he's going to want to get broke off. He should.
Mm-hmm.
So what ends up happening there? But the idea of the Milwaukee Brewers going out and giving up resources for a big bat, I don't see it. It has not been part of the history of how these guys do their business, and I think they probably feel, especially the way the offense is played, that their offense is good enough. Whether or not that's accurate or not, it's been a little inconsistent lately, but Christian Yelich has been on a tear. If he can keep that sustainable, the Brewers can be fine. But Christian Yelich, is he going to revert back to the mean a little bit? I just hope that he's able to stay healthy and this team can – at this point, I think all that they're hoping for is finding a way in the playoffs and then playing better when they get in there.
Fact check on Brandon Woodruff's contract, 2026, it's a mutual option. And his salary would be $20 million. So the team
I think
and
the
the
Brewers
pitcher
are probably going to say, I would be surprised. But maybe not. Who knows? We'll see how the rest of this season goes for him.
Yeah, and how it goes for other pitchers that they have under their control, right? And what if they were to move on from Peralta, what they would get in return. But you asked Jeff Passan about Jacob Misiorowski, and you mentioned that plenty of Brewers fans are likening him to Randy Johnson, which got a good little
literally
chuckle.
it was on the welcome into Jeff Passan on our air. So
that was just crazy
yes.
timing on our end, and that was Chris Canty, by the way, who was saying that on Unsportsmanlike. Chris Canty, by the way, former NFL player, not a big baseball guy.
Not to be confused with CC Sabathia.
Well, he's Tausch. He's not the baseball expert on that show. That's part of why they have Michelle Smallman on there. If it was Michelle saying it, I'd take a little bit more. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let's text Michelle and see what she thinks.
Well, we already had
Misiorowski,
Passan
Randy
today. We'll try
Johnson,
and get her
part
later
2.
in the week. Here is what Jeff Passan had to say about the Miz, because the way he's pitched, this does factor into what Tausch was just talking about with Brandon Woodruff as well.
When you have a band that before everyone else, and you feel kind of good about that, like, hey, I knew those guys before they were popular. Jacob Misiorowski trained at the same pitching facility that my son threw at and has the same coach here in Kansas City. So I was getting video on Misiorowski and TrackMan profile years ago and looked at it and I was like, oh my God, who is this guy? And back then he just couldn't throw enough strikes. But the Brewers have done a great job of figuring out how to get the best out of him. And, over the course of his first 4 starts, he has shown why they've been so high on him.
And now tomorrow.
Yep.
It's the Miz versus Clayton Kershaw, Brewers Dodgers. You said this to Jeff about how the games that he's pitching in are selling out. You did not bring up your guy Paul Skenes when you had the opportunity. But is this, like, where are you at on this? Because you are on the hype train. Like, Chris Canty can compare him to Randy Johnson all he wants, but while you might not be making that comp, you're all in on The Miz. Nobody beats The Miz.
Well, it's not only The Miz. I have been a Brewer fan my whole life. Some seasons it's wake me up in October or September. For whatever reason this year, I've been more inclined to watch games, to listen. And maybe part of it is that it's on 100.5 in Madison. So when I'm in my Tahoe, I'm able to tune in, and I'm just more engaged. Is it part of the fact that the Brewers were so gracious when I came down? We did our show, and is that part of it? I don't know, but what I know is part of it is you have a team that is scrappy. They've overcome some stuff, and The Miz is that star power that I think every team wants. And Jeff Passan wisely, and I said this after everybody was up in arms about the greatest day ever when it was you saw like 8 innings total of the Skeens-Miz matchup. It's fun to have someone that could be that guy. We don't know yet if he is going to be, but, I mean, outside of Sabathia, is Ben Sheets the next closest thing that you could think of? A player that had a ton of pub coming in, that had that capability of striking a lot of people out, and was living up to the hype. We're 4 or 5 games into the hype train, and he got rattled around a little bit in was it Brooklyn? Which borough are the Mets in? Shea Stadium, whatever they call it there.
They're in Queens.
Queens, there you go. He got rattled around a little bit up there. But, yeah, I think all of that and how it's played out, this is a team that you like watching. They're fun. And I think The Miz and that star power adds another layer to it.
Does Corbin Burns fit in? Like, he won a Cy Young with the Brewers, right?
I believe he did.
So, and he was an all-star.
I don't remember, was there a ton of pub coming in with him?
Well, like,
if
he
there was,
came
I
in
don't
and he
remember
struggled his first time up in the bigs, then went back down, and then came back and was awesome.
Yeah, I just don't remember the same. I remember Ben Sheets, Olympic gold medal. I just remember, boy, we got Sheetsy. And now I have the same vibe with The Miz. And obviously I think The Miz throws, he's throwing bullets, where I don't remember if Sheets was that dominant. But that's just something that we're not used to consistently. And I think adds, like I said earlier, just another layer to why I'm more excited about this team than maybe I've been in the past during a regular season.
By the way, I don't follow baseball super closely. So the Brewers I remember when the Brewers traded Burns to the Orioles, right? They got Joey Ortiz in that trade, if I recall correctly. But then he signed in free agency with the Diamondbacks last December?
Yep.
Okay.
And now he's done for the year and he's having Tommy John surgery?
Yeah. There's also been some stuff that his numbers have not been as good since they outlawed spider tack. So some accusations that float around the internet of the foreign substance that he...
Can Spider-Man use spider tack?
I am so glad, because I did not want to step on you by saying the same thing. So thank you for chiming in there.
I don't think so, because even if you were to use his web on it, like, you can't spit on the ball before you throw it.
Spider tack is some sort of a foreign substance that was legal and isn't any longer?
Yeah, it's like a sticky stuff, so they could get a better grip on the ball. Spin rates were higher for pitchers then. So you saw a lot of guys that had long hair. They would, and doesn't work for me on the video stream because I'm bald.
Good pantomiming, though, I think. Good work.
He would, like, reach back at his hair, and then when he needed a little bit extra, and now because they can track the spin rate of the ball and movement, it was dropping after they outlawed spider tack and they started checking pitchers for foreign substances. He was never caught. This is all allegedly, but it is a coincidence that
Pretty big accusation you're putting out there.
The internet is putting it out there. I am just sharing the information that the internet has reporting, and the fact that his spin rate was dropping, and they outlawed Spider Tack. The Brewers traded him away after it was outlawed, and they were going to start checking for it. I'm just saying.
I'm not saying.
You're not saying, but you're
I'm
saying.
just.
Yep.
I get it. I get it.
I feel like if we ever need a tagline, we've got a lot of them. But I'm not saying, I'm just saying would look good on a T-shirt. Also, I agree with Tausch, which is still in major production, coming your way in 2026. Coming your way next is trivia. Hunter, were you given full autonomy over trivia today?
I was, for the first time in what feels like forever. These are 100% mine.
First time in forever. Okay, so what did you pick for a category, and what caller do you want, Hunter?
It's the sports weekend recap. Really baseball weekend.
Very
recap.
creative.
Yeah, I went with a classic on it. I'm going to go caller number 8. That might be a little bit of a tease into one of the answers.
Oh. Okay. Caller 8 right now. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 8 right now plays Wilde and Tausch Trivia, presented by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on, although the girls aren't betting on them. They are using them, and they love them. Vortex Golf, Wilde and Tausch Trivia is next, so stick around.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here with an offer for a bath or shower remodel from Kohler Services. Family owned for 150 years, Kohler is your Wisconsin manufacturer providing care for life. And this month only, get $1,000 off your Lugstone shower remodel and no interest financing for 12 months. Visit KohlerServicesWI.com to request your free quote with fast professional installation always included. That's KohlerServicesWI.com.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lots of top to Giannis. Whoa, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally, and Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Fly ball to center. It is way back, and it is gone!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Ben Brust here to tell you about Zimbrick European. They're Mercedes, Audi, Porsche, and certified pre-owns. But the best part is I've been working with them since 2018, and the evolution has been a 2-door, a 4-door, and now it's time for an SUV. My life has changed, and it's changed with Zimbrick European. Being a dad has made it really important to have the comfort and the safety that the SUV will bring me. Again, Zimbrick European off the Beltline at Rimrock Road. Of course, I found the sexiest car on the lot. Check them out.
GRB Academy is baseball for the serious player. Over the past 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's top destination for player development and advancement, including over 468 college commitments and 27 MLB draft picks. Their facility in Windsor is the home of GRB Rays baseball and features over 52,000 square feet of elite baseball training. Tryouts for the 2026 summer season begin July 22nd. Find full training programs and register now at grbacademy.com.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. A customizable homepage, easier and quicker live listening. Your shows at the touch of a fingertip.
Unless there's a big boy trade coming that I don't see, Green Bay is going to run this thing back, and you hope that these other guys will emerge.
Available in Apple and Android app stores. Your one-stop shop for ESPN Wisconsin. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Download it today.
Attention, business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
Hey Wisconsin, it's construction season and the Wisconsin DOT wants to help you safely navigate work zones in your area. Check 511wi.gov or download the free 511 app to see current road work, closures, detours, and camera views on your route. Wherever your travels take you, know before you go with 511wi.gov. That's 511wi.gov. And remember, know before you go. Always park the phone while driving. Sponsored by the Wisconsin DOT.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
As promised, Hunter got to do trivia questions all by his own self without Jesse.
Oh, he's growing up.
Oh, he's
He
all
is
grown
growing up.
Now, the question before we start. Will he be still empowered to do trivia after we're done?
Probably not.
I think as long
Jesse
as
will
there's
have a problem
something
with it.
Gerald Ford adjacent, I think he's going to be fine.
All right, well, let's find out together because it's time now for Wilde and Tausch Trivia presented by Vortex Golf.
Wilde and Tausch Trivia is brought to you by Vortex Golf. Rangefinders you can bet on.
Let's welcome in our contestants. It is the father of the groom.
Oh,
Not the father of the bride. Not Scott/Craig Thompson. Instead, it is Jeff in Monroe. Jeff, good morning, buddy. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good, thanks. How about you guys?
We're great. Have you recovered from the party that was the celebration of Kevin and Carrie and their nuptials?
I have. Thanks a lot for coming down. That was nice of you.
I feel fantastic.
Well, it was fun to be there. Thanks for inviting our entire family so we could attend. All right, time now for trivia. The category is the Sports Weekend Recap. Question number 1, Jeff, is this. Which of these Brewers pitchers made his return to the rotation for the first time in 651 days? Was it Brandon Woodruff, Yolis Chassin, or Clark Kent?
Thanks for all the baseball talk today before I answer. Brandon Woodruff.
Coming up next, it'll be Dave Matthews Band talk in honor of your son Kevin, who loves Dave Matthews. All right, question 2. You're 1 for 1, Jeff. Is this... Oh, boy. I kind of like this. I kind of like what Hunter has done here. Question 2. Which of these Brewers was the lone player to make the 2025 NL All-Star team? Is it Sal Frelick, Lex Luthor, or Freddy Peralta?
Freddy Peralta.
2 for 2. Question 3, if you're sensing a theme, is this. Which Dodgers pitcher became just the 20th player ever to throw at least 3,000 strikeouts? Is it Shohei Ohtani, Clayton Kershaw, or Jimmy Olsen?
Clayton Kershaw.
So by including a Superman character in each of the three groups of answers, Jeff, would you consider this one of your easier? You're a longtime veteran of trivia. Would you say this was one of your easier turns at the trivia prize wheel?
I'd say the easiest.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good for Hunter moving forward.
Well, see, this is what I'm saying. I kind of like the fact that he went a little, he's clever and he worked in with the whole Superman controversy, etc. Jimmy Olsen, Lex Luthor, and Clark Kent. Lois getting short-shrifted. What's Lois's last name?
Lane.
Oh, Lois Lane. Yeah, I should know that.
I thought with it being a Monday, I was like, I'm going to go easier trivia. We ramp up
Long
to
weekend,
it.
too.
Yeah.
Long weekend.
So,
a little groggy. Yeah.
Wanted to just ease into it on a Monday.
Do you feel like you should have at least found somewhere to jam in Gerald Ford, given your affinity for the former president?
I thought about it, but that's gotten me in trouble in the past with Jesse. So I was like, you know what? This has been the first time in like 6 months. Maybe let's just go easy. Let's stay away from him. Maybe that'll be a Tuesday or a Wednesday trivia.
Well, from what I understand, you're producing 2 more shows this week, so we'll find out together. All right, hey, Jeff, 3 for 3. That means you got 4 entries into the drawing for the Vortex Golf prize pack swag bag at the end of the week. Any other post-wedding updates you'd like to share before we let you go?
The dance, I got tired just watching those kids. My goodness. You missed that, Jason. They were out there partying, so that was nice to see. And your family was nice to meet. Nice family you have there.
Yeah, they're all right. We'll keep them. Congratulations again as the father of the groom, and congratulations on getting all 3 of Hunter's very difficult questions correct today. We'll see how you fare in the drawing on Friday. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks a lot. Love you guys.
That is
Bye.
Wilde
Love you
and
guys.
Tausch trivia. Tausch, do we have any concern about Hunter going forward?
No,
nothing
I think
egregious here.
Hunter's got a big heart, and I think he wants to. He is obviously in love with Batman and this Corn Bluth, or what's the guy's name?
Corn Sweat.
Corn Sweat. So that's what's on his mind. I want to know what's on people's minds. Hunter did that, and with the long weekend, I don't have a problem with him throwing a couple bones, especially to a loyal fan like Jeff. So I'm good with the whole thing.
I also don't see the issue with going on the easier side and giving our great fans opportunities to win prizes. I feel like I shouldn't ever get punished for that.
So my question is, are you already thinking about tomorrow? And in fairness now to other contestants, are you also going to continue to go easy on them since you're such a big-hearted guy?
It will ramp up tomorrow, more difficult. Will still probably be, I don't know.
Batman?
Maybe. I've got to figure something out, but we will still have some sort of a superhero Justice League theme. None of that Marvel stuff.
Is
I'm
there
a
any
DC guy.
Is there any connection that we can come up with between Clark Kent and Christopher Reeves and Gerald Ford? Like same era, right? 70s?
Yeah, I'm sure I can. I wouldn't be surprised if Christopher Reeves had a visit to the White House during the Ford administration.
We'll have to check that. And Tausch is reading. Are you still reading that book about that era of politics, or did you finish that one?
No, there's Big Cat's got all kinds of reads. So yeah, I have. I got 2 or 3 books. It's hard. It's just a busy time of year. I think when I go on my little summer sabbatical, that's when I'll pick up and hopefully catch up on all that.
All right. Well, we will catch up with Whoa Hunter. So he's not out of the woods yet. Trivia?
No.
Successful-ish. Whoa Hunter? Well, I'll find out together. And we'll do it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
The biggest games.
Back-to-back state championships. Still going, lowers his shoulder into the end zone. Touchdown, Wanakee.
The most compelling stories.
Where are you going to be playing basketball next year?
I'm proud and excited to announce that I'll be going to the University of Charleston.
We are now joined by the Executive Director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
Live the high life at Nitty Gritty, home of the famous Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Celebrate your birthday at Nitty Gritty and receive a free memento birthday mug to fill with free beer, specialty birthday cocktails, or soda all day long. The Nitty Gritty has celebrated almost 900,000 birthdays, and birthday celebrant number 900,000 will receive a $1,000 Amex gift card. Grab some friends and celebrate your birthday at the Nitty Gritty, located in Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The Nitty Gritty, a tradition since 1968.
Play where the Badgers play and enjoy a round at University Ridge Golf Course, the official course of the University of Wisconsin. It's easy to see why University Ridge is consistently rated one of the best public courses in Wisconsin, winning awards every year since 1992. Whether it's a tournament, corporate event, or just a golf outing with family and friends, University Ridge Golf Course will make sure you have an enjoyable golf experience from start to finish. Book your tee time today at universityridge.com. That's universityridge.com.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious accident? It's free. Yes, free, as in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. There's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
We ask and you answer. Tune in to Jim, Matt, and Molly every weekday 4 to 6 and follow at Jim, Matt, Molly on X to vote in daily poll questions. Presented by Siding Unlimited, your local window installation pros.
The UW Credit Union member Mark Tauscher here. People ask me, old T, why did you join UW Credit Union? Well, is it to keep your banking local? Is it the member first service? Great perks like early payday? Absolutely. But honestly, between us, I mean, it's Bucky. I can't say no to that face. If you love Wisconsin like I do, you just can't pay with anything else. Fandom makes us do crazy things, but this just makes sense. Become a UW Credit Union member and get your Bucky card like me. Federally insured by NCUA. Terms and conditions apply.
This is our crew.
A drive, left center, deep. See you later, Caleb Durbin. Turn out the lights.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball. 100.5 ESPN.
With tears in my eyes, the love in my soul. I feel like starting something. The pain that subsides the minute I go.
Before we get to Woe Hunter, the Bucks officially announcing something that we learned during that whirlwind day, or that whirlwind 24 hours, with the Milwaukee Bucks. Bobby Portis officially now back in the fold, so he's signed his contract, passed his physical, everything you were looking for. I saw Pat Connaughton bidding farewell to the city of Milwaukee, which I thought was nice over the time I was gone for a little while there. So the Bucks continuing forward. We have not heard anything from Giannis. Is that correct? Other than any sort of social media posts? Or...
Yeah, he's been very active on TikTok, so I've seen a lot of his stuff.
Well, you're big on TikTok. We learned that today.
Yeah, spend way too much time on that app, but I've seen all of Giannis's posts. Hasn't been anything that I can tell that has been hinting at it, because that's the level I got to this offseason, where I've been trying to interpret the songs he's putting with stuff to see if there's any hint at what he's going to be doing. It's not a healthy place to be.
Hunter, is TikTok, is that for work, or why are you on TikTok so much?
I get content ideas from that. That's where last week I saw that clip of Cam Newton talking about Arch Manning and how he should sit. So I use it for that. I also just enjoy a lot of the creators that are on that. There's a really good comic book community in that, so able to, have all of that with it. So there's a lot of stuff. I just think it's a really well done app. And all of the other apps track me and are
Do we all
awful,
agree
so.
that this, and whether it's, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever you just said, what is it, TikTok? Do we all agree at some point this is probably going to be like big tobacco?
Yeah, I think there should
Proves to
be
be unhealthy for you. Is that what you mean?
Oh no, it's 100%. We all know it's unhealthy.
Correct.
Whether or not there's going to be a lawsuit like there was at Big Tobacco, that's what I'm interested in, and I think there will be. Whether or not, I don't know how that'll shake itself out, but there's a reason, and I just saw this again. Zuckerberg won't let any of his kids have any of these apps.
Steve Jobs wouldn't let his kids have iPads.
So they all know it's sick.
Yep.
Like, we all know it. There's nothing we're doing about it, but we all know it's sick. We ain't doing anything about it. So,
on that note, time for Whoa Hunter.
Whoa, Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Hey, Hunter, quick question for you. Are you a lots of tabs guy on your browser, or do you shut them all down?
I get overwhelmed if I've got more than like 5 or 6 open.
Okay, I got a lot open, and I just realized that the last 2, because I've got that story from GQ that I want to read after the show about your guy David Corin Sway, or whatever we're changing his name to so it doesn't sound like Corn Sweat. And the next tab over is the Us Weekly exclusive with insights into Aaron Rodgers.
Nice.
So I'm really covering the ground of the top flight journalism that's out there. The show is now yours.
Tausch, you mentioned things that are sick. Alex Strofe was hosting the State of the Packers show with Jason Wilde out at Summerfest.
I heard.
And 99.9% of the show, I think Alex Strofe crushed it. Did a great job. Would you agree, Jason?
He did a really good job. Gabe was even better, though.
Yes.
Gabe had a great show. He was really smart and insightful. I thought he was the best of any of us. The best of us.
Well,
on Saturday.
Strofe was definitely the lowest.
Well, just wait a second. What made Gabe so great? Why do you say that? What insight did he bring that was so great?
Well, he brought in a sheet of paper where he'd taken some notes down that was really insightful that he'd prepared. He was laser focused. You could see why he's such a popular national
what was his best take?
Radio
what was his
voice.
best take of the day?
It was a 3-hour show. I wasn't thinking about it when I brought him up just now. I will have to go back and listen. There were so many good points that he made, though, that it's hard to name just
But you can't
one.
give me one. Okay, that's fair.
Okay, what were your best takes other than Christian Watson being back before Halloween from the 2 shows I missed last week?
That was, I would say, my Watson take was my best.
All right, what else? What else did you?
And then also, Also, my Zach Tom, I don't know. With Balaga, we were debating whether or not we would come in. I think Zach Tom should not go and play until he signs a big, fat new deal. That was my other take. I also think I had something to do with Tom Cruise and Mission Impossible and how he's the last great movie star. So just three things off the top of my head.
Okay, what were Brian Bulaga's best takes?
Oh, Bulaga kind of went along with me on this Watson take. I think we both agree that you maybe as Dr. Wilde, maybe we're a little
Aren't you
being too
doing the same
conservative.
thing now, but with a faster timeline?
What do you mean?
Well, aren't you now prognosticating when he'd be back without a medical background yourself?
No, I have experience in blowing out my knee twice, so I think I probably have a general idea. I'm not a doctor, but I am a player that's rehabbed the same injury, so I think I have a little bit of credibility on it.
You definitely do. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying
Well, you
that
just
now.
challenged my credibility on it.
No.
Well, he did.
Okay,
he did.
Great. I want to make fun of Alex Strofe right now. He fumbled
All
the
right.
bag as he was trying to end the show. And Tausch, I just need you to hear this because it was all-time bad closing the show from Alex Strofe.
That does it for State of the Packers 2025. Jason, Gabe, good stuff today.
Can't wait to do it again next year.
I hope we have a ring on our finger next year.
Are you getting
They get
engaged?
No. I was referring to a Super Bowl ring.
Since when do radio hosts get Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Well, I'd
That's
buy
where
one.
you're gonna. That's
I'm
where
an
you're gonna
owner.
end the show after all this. We had such a great show.
Yeah.
And in the last 30 seconds,
Decides to punt
you
it away.
get the field goal blocked.
I tried.
All right, I gotta go.
I don't know if you did.
All-time bad out
I
by
think
Alex Strofe, right?
That might have been Gabe's best quote right there. Is what are you getting married? That's pretty good. Yeah, I think there is an art, and I think Jason does a good job of it. When I have to host and run the ins and outs without teasing, teasing I like doing.
Big tease.
It is, you kind of feel, well, what is this, a 2-minute break? Is this, I'll be back in 4 minutes? What do you say? And when you wrap it up, Jason's obviously got his little shtick. I don't know, Strofe is still trying to find his voice on that.
Hopefully we have a ring
he butchered
on
it.
our finger.
He butchered it, but I don't know if that was coming back and saying, what are you getting engaged? It almost is a bummer that was not you didn't have another segment, because then you could have really delved into Strofe's love life and where he's at in his relationship. How far is he from getting engaged?
We did.
That
was
would have
bonus
been a nice
coverage.
ad.
That was the discussion we had
bonus
after we
digi.
ended the show. Yeah.
Some digi only. Absolutely.
That was not great, Bob. Not a great finish. It was a great show. Among the points that Gabe Neitzel had was about Jaden Reed. This was the first one chronologically. That the Packers believe in Jaden Reed less than we do. And he went through his playing time percentages, that perhaps there's more to the idea that he got himself a new agent because he's planning on eventually hitting free agency, because the Packers don't necessarily believe in him. I had not thought in those terms. It was
So Gabe thinks that the
Aha.
Packers don't believe in him, or they
Yeah.
do believe in him more than we do?
No, less than we do. That they do not view him as valuable as we view him to be valuable.
Interesting. That is interesting. Well, I appreciate Gabe for bringing that up. I would probably disagree. I think of all the receivers that are sitting here right now, I actually think he's the most likely to get an extension. As another point Brian Bulaga brought up, maybe Watson ends up signing another 1-year deal if he isn't coming back as soon as he wants. I don't think that'll happen, but the Jaden Reed component, I think Jaden Reed is the most likely of the old school, and I say that in quotes, wideouts that are on this team of getting extended, because I think the Packers value him a lot, actually.
Well, they don't play him a lot, based on the numbers that Gabe had written on his little
That's
sheet.
interesting.
And,
Hunter, put that down. Let's get a little Gabe. We'll have to come up with a game tomorrow of was Gabe right? I don't know. You're the creative guy of this group. Somehow bat
the
it
Gabe
up.
game.
And bring up some of Gabe's points because this Jaden Reed component, if he really doesn't play the snap count, now he was injured a little bit. That might be a part of the equation. But targets and all that. The receiving spot, while they grabbed a couple wideouts early, there's still a lot of Natasha Bedingfield to be said when it comes to what is going to happen to that group, for sure.
I do know, if I recall correctly, that Evan Cohen has rescheduled his appearance for this week to later in the week.
I'm going to crush him next time he's on. He sent some texts over the weekend that were very interesting. Let's just put it that way.
The 9:30 window of tomorrow's show, maybe Gabe is available, and you can discuss his takes with him.
Yeah, well, I think that's a really good idea.
Get him booked.
That's fantastic.
Whoa, Hunter!
Whoa, Nelly!
Real quick one, guys. I went and saw the new Brad Pitt F1 movie over the weekend. Fantastic theater experience. And it has me questioning if racing movies are an underrated genre and we should be getting more racing movies. Because that movie was an experience and I loved it.
Days of Thunder?
Interesting.
Yeah, like...
You don't remember that one.
I know of it. I haven't seen it in a long time. But, like, the way that it was able to, with the sound and the editing and on a big screen, having these F1 cars going at, like, 200 miles an hour, like, it made me feel like I was in the car in a way that I haven't had a movie make me feel in a long time. So I think racing movies, we need to get more of those. Maybe not NASCAR, but I like this F1 thing.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
So you and your wife went to see it, or you just went by yourself? I know you like to go movies by yourself. What?
I went with my mother-in-law. My wife and her sister went to lunch with an old high school friend. They're like childhood friend. So my mother-in-law and I both like movies, so we went and saw F1 together.
I'm intrigued.
I'm not going to comment.
What?
Hunter slapped me down when I was so I don't get into a lot of Hunter's personal. That is a unique scenario. That's a unique scenario.
What is so unique about that? Why is it wrong that I just get along with my mother-in-law?
Nobody said it's nobody said wrong, Hunter. Don't get all defensive. That's why I've learned with Hunter there's certain bridges that you just don't even drive on. You go the other way. And when it comes to that, I find that very unique. That's all. Very unique.
I'm so confused. What do you mean there's
it's not that confusing. I like...
If your
Paul's
wife was
mom,
with you, I would say, oh, that's nice. You guys are all there. The fact that just you and your mother, you guys sharing a bucket of popcorn? Like, you get like, what, 2 straws, one, like, what? I don't, like, it's just the whole thing is just a little unique. That's all.
2 straws in your Slurpee.
I would venture, Hunter, I would say you are one of 100. If I polled 100 dudes and said, hey, man, would you go, just you and your mother-in-law, to go sit through a 3-hour movie? 99 dudes would say, nah, I'm good. Not you. And that's what's unique about it.
But, okay, so of the amount of time, by the way, it was a 2.5-hour movie.
But there's a half hour of, you're 3 hours in.
The previews weren't running at first, so they went right into the movie. So it was a 20-minute drive to the theater, 20-minute back, 2.5-hour
Just you
movie.
two.
Just the two of us. So all total, we were 3 hours, and that was it.
Okay.
Yeah,
now, I would play cards with my mother-in-law. She plays Mahjong, which I don't know how to play, and I have no interest. I used to play Scrabble with my mother-in-law. I don't think I'm just good enough. The kids want to go, and Sarah's gone. Yeah, okay.
Sure.
I don't think there is under any circumstances that I'm going to say, yo, D, let's go check out check out Batman for 4 hours down at the local theater. Well, where's Sarah? I don't know.
I think this says more about you guys than me.
Look,
you might be right.
I just no.
But I don't
get
think so.
along. You get along great with Sarah's mom. I get along great with Paula's mom. I don't see myself ever doing something just me and her. And I think Tausch is right. If you polled 100 married men, top 5 answers on the board, yes or no, you would go to a movie with your mother-in-law. You may be the only one who has, in fact, done it.
I think
this
it was
is the
a great
greatest
time.
Woe Hunter ever.
I think it was great. I think this just says more about all of the other guys out there. Maybe you just need to have better relationships with your mother-in-law. Maybe treat your wives a little bit better so they treat you better. And then you don't have a problem going to a movie with them.
Do you talk?
This is where I don't want to get into it with you, because wouldn't your wife want to go with you and your mother-in-law?
Yeah.
My wife
if the
doesn't like
relationship
movies.
is so blank and awesome, like that's where the difference lies a little bit. But
My wife doesn't
just
like
my own
movies.
opinion.
My mother-in-law likes movies. She knows that I like movies. So
Okay.
we were like, yeah, let's go do that.
Has this happened
you have
before?
nothing to apologize about. I just think it's unique. That's all. And I could be 100% wrong.
You're
and
not
every
wrong.
person listening right now is like, man, Tausch is just way wrong on this. I know I'm not, but I know there
you're
might be
not.
more people that feel that way.
I don't expect other people to think that I am right, but I still think that I am right, and I think that more guys should do it.
Okay, you've said your piece. Again, is this the first time you guys have gone to the movies together?
First time, and I would do it again. Happily.
What was her review of F1? Did you guys discuss it in the car?
We did.
On your way home?
She liked it. It got a little in-depth in the racing stuff, and she got a little confused by some of it, but she enjoyed the movie experience itself.
Did you guys hold hands?
So I'm generally curious. Do you guys share a popcorn? Do you cover it for her? Like, how does that work itself out?
So she bought the tickets. So movie theater popcorn gives me some tummy troubles, so I don't do movie theater popcorn.
Oh, tummy troubles.
So I bought myself a soda and some candy, got some Twizzlers, and then she snuck in a soda for herself.
Snuck in? You just outed her for bringing in outside beverages.
Everybody does it. Stop it, Jason.
What do you mean? She put a can of soda in her pocket and brought it
and
in?
a Diet Coke.
You know what? I always hope when that happens that thing explodes up, and then they got to clean it up. If you're going to do it, you got to go bottle. You're not bringing in an aluminum can.
She did it.
Kudos to your mother-in-law. So that's cute. I think it's nice that you guys do that.
I don't know how we're going to wrap up the show, but we have to, and we have to do it next. It's Mother-in-Law's Unleashed on Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Bucks.
This was an investment by their general manager, John Horst, in being able to sell Giannis Antetokounmpo, that there is an opportunity to compete in Milwaukee this year and into the foreseeable future.
100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Bucks.
Mark Tauscher here for Pizza Hut. You know I've loved Pizza Hut since the days back when I was in school participating in the legendary Book It program. The summer was always a great time to get in some extra time reading to earn some great Pizza Hut pizza. And now my summer survival kit in Madison is a little different. A cooler full of drinks, a comfy lawn chair, and a large Hut Lovers pizza from Pizza Hut for just $12.99. Choose from 4 loaded legends: meat lovers, pepperoni lovers, veggie lovers, and the new spicy Hawaiian. It's your summer go-to. Hot, melty, and made to crush hunger. Order before it's gone on the Pizza Hut app. Limited time only. Additional charge for extra toppings, pan, stuffed crust, and extra cheese. A large Hut Lovers pizza for just $12.99 for a limited time at Pizza Hut. Nobody out-pizzas the Hut.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by Bruner Realty, providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area for over 30 years. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get housed today.
Nick Osen of Badger 247 joined myself and Pablo Iglesias on the Jump Around Thursday afternoon and shared some insight into what he believes is a much improved Wisconsin football team.
There's an honesty that, hey, we need to be better, we need to have better personnel, and just really kind of go all in terms of what you can do defensively. I think team's in a good spot, culture's in a really good spot, and now it's just about, can you get back to that bowl game and hopefully get 1 or 2 of those marquee wins.
For windows with the strongest resilience, you need the Pella experience. Get 0% interest for up to 5 years if you order by July 31st at PellaWI.com.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
When it comes to your health, do you want to buy something online or do you want to meet with someone local? A local doctor with a family-owned business that cares about you. That's right. You want to meet with Nestor Rodriguez and Ashley Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. You have questions about cryotherapy, red light therapy, hormone replacement treatments, GLP-1s, or you just want to have a great workout. Carbon World Health is there for you. They have a new location in Sun Prairie and they have their original location in Madison. So when it comes to your health, there's nowhere better to go than Carbon World Health in Madison and now in Sun Prairie.
It's always a beautiful experience coming out to the ballpark. Many fans prep in the parking lot amongst our legendary tailgaters. When you're ready for new windows and doors, prep for those at the Pella Experience Center in Brookfield. See, feel, open, close, and compare dozens of window and door options from different Pella lines side by side. And if you order by July 31st, get 0% interest for up to 5 years on Blue Mountain Road or visit PellaWI.com today.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
This is our crew.
A drive, left center, deep. See you later. Caleb Durbin, turn out the lights.
You're listening to Madison's new home for Milwaukee Brewers baseball, 100.5 ESPN.
But I woke up for yesterday. There's an ordinary world. Somehow I have to find.
We are over time, so we got to go. But I'll say this. If Tausch is tweeting out, is it unique to go with your mother-in-law to watch a 3-hour movie while your wife grabs lunch with a friend, or is this totally normal? I think I know where tomorrow's show might be starting. We'll see what your responses are. That's it for us today. Hunter's got plans with his mother-in-law, so he's got to go. Have a great...
Got a lunch.
Going to the
His
Brewer
wife's
game
going
tonight.
to a movie, and they're going to lunch.
Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
This is Wisconsin Volleyball National Champion Devin Robinson. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
What is up, Madison? I'm Hunter Vaughn. Your Sports Center update is brought to you by Stoughton Health, providing experienced physicians, nurses, therapists, technicians, and staff for personalized, forward-thinking, expert healthcare. Stoughton Health, trusted care, close to home. ESPN MLB writer Jeff Passan joined Wilde and Tausch earlier today, and while he thinks the Brewers are a piece away from making it to a World Series run, he does think that ownership needs to spend some money finally.
That they've done this on the kind of budget that they have and have been able to continue winning, it says to me, like, at some point, Mark Atanasio needs to step forward and give a little bit more in terms of resources. And I don't know if that's this deadline, because honestly, guys, there just aren't a lot of big bats that are likely to be available.
You can catch that